Hello, everyone, and welcome to Old World Tech Fridays.
Good evening.
How are you?
Not too bad. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. It's been a long
I
month. It's
hear
been a
you.
long year.
It has. I mean,
Indeed.
we finally crossed over the line into July.
Yes. Happy 4th of July to all of my neighbors to the south. And happy belated July 1st to all of my Canadians.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We,
sorry.
we
It's been a
keeping you
week.
well.
It's been a week.
It's certainly been a week of Mondays.
That's for sure.
We'll get
So,
everybody on.
let's see. What do we got going on? Who's in the chat, Ryan? Who's in the chat?
Chat this evening. We got Frank S. We got Jack68. We got some fella named Eric's Edge. We have Scarlet, the Four-Eyed Cuda. We have JH or JVHS, Jeremy's Vintage Willy Shack. We got Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel. Hey, Rudy.
Rudy.
We have Gut Bomb.
Gut Bomb.
And I think that's it for so far. We got 9 people watching. Remember, guys, to punch that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. We don't do a lot on this channel other than Friday nights. We promise not to inundate you with stupid videos. So
that is true. We don't. So, with that being said, our co-host Trina had some stuff this evening, as she did last week. So she will not be with us, but we do have a very special guest, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully very special guest will join us.
It's just running behind.
Yes, he's just running behind.
So, I got some stuff in the mail this week.
Oh, what did you get in the mail?
One of which is the channel donation.
Ooh, a channel
from
donation.
Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel.
Why? Wow, tell me what that is. That's amazing.
So, this is a video kit for the Commodore PET.
A video kit.
So I have the Commodore PET that I bought that came in a couple weeks back, and the CRT was necked. This allows you to connect external video to it, so I can hook up the RGB to HDMI adapter to this and get some video, so I can at least use the thing for now. And then once I find a suitable screen replacement, you can still use this as it makes it so that you can use external video as So like if I wanted to stream what I'm working on the PET, I should be able to use this video adapter kit to put it there. So that's awesome.
Cool.
Yes, JC, you made it exactly at the right time.
You were not 3 days late. You made it on time.
So Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel, he has Commodore stuff available for sale. Hang on. At one of Rudy's cards here, Retro Repair. So for those of you who are not subscribed, go to youtube.com and look up Rudy's Retro Intel and subscribe.
Lots of great stuff there.
Thank you, Rudy. So I hope to get that put together and hooked up to the PET so that we can at least get some video to make sure the rest of the PET works before we do any upgrades, because I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole and then have to figure out why things aren't working when they might have not worked from the beginning.
Sure. And so any plans on actually replacing the CRT?
Yes, I've been looking online, and I'm having a hard time finding something that's the exact fit. I found several message boards of other people who've replaced them in the past, and they had some other reference numbers that worked as well. So it's the PET Companion board. It provides external video, composite, and RGB, HDMI, and external sound. So it does a lot of things. So that's awesome. So I really appreciate it. I get that put together hopefully later in the week, and then or the first part of next week, so that I can hopefully next week have some video to show out of the back of it. But yeah, I do plan on, if I can't find a tube that will work, then I will try and retrofit some type of or flat panel LCD in the case. Yeah.
Now, did we figure out if an iPad screen will fit in this?
I believe so. So this is a 9-inch. So I mean, I'm gonna have to have something probably 10-inch.
Right.
But I'd really, really, really like to find a CRT.
Yeah.
Now I'd found, like I said, a lot of references on other boards. Rudy's looking for a replacement tube for me, so that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Says he really can find a replacement here.
Now, I looked at Mac tubes, but they're not wired the same.
Right.
It's not the same. So basically, this one had a green screen in it. Now, you can replace it with a black and white.
Mine is black and white.
Yeah, so like that's doable, but it had to be a specific type, a tube type to be able to fit.
Now, could you just take the neck board and stuff and then off the back of the broken one and just put it on a different tube?
No. Well, yes. So you can take the board off the back,
Yeah,
and then you could put it right onto the replacement tube as long as it's the same tube type.
Can you take the yoke out and everything and just?
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to adjust the.
Yeah, you'll have to adjust the picture and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I understand or reading on there, you can do black and white.
Because I'm wondering, there was a lot of 9-inch black and white televisions.
That's what I started looking at was 9-inch televisions to see if I could find one.
Yeah.
But so far, no luck. So I have something else that just came today that I ordered a couple weeks back, but it took a while.
Oh, what is it?
So, one of the fine products from jcm-1.com. I've got Macintosh tennis shoes.
Awesome.
Vintage Apple tennis shoes. The tongue is green.
I believe actually, due to legalities, they are rainbow shoes.
I'm sorry, they are rainbow shoes.
Vintage
June was Pride Month.
Yeah, vintage computer rainbow shoes.
Vintage computer rainbow shoes.
Yes.
From jcm-1.com.
So feel free to dart over there if you haven't already and grab yourself.
And they weren't expensive. Now they custom make these.
Yep.
In China.
They're print on demand.
Yep. And they mailed them from China. And yes, these would be great bowling shoes. That actually is a good idea.
Yes.
But they were only like 40 some bucks or something. So really, honestly, not bad. Yep. Apple can't copyright the rainbow. That's
no,
right.
But they can copyright us calling them Apple shoes.
Yes, they are not Apple shoes.
Yeah, they are
if
rainbow.
You go to apple.com. There are no Apple shoes.
No.
So these are rainbow colored vintage sneakers.
Vintage computer shoes. Yeah.
That's right. So that came in the mail. What else did I have this week? I mailed a bunch of stuff out this week. I don't think I really had anything else. Vintage computer related that came this week.
Eric is very correct.
But yes, they can lawyer you to death. That's right. They have a lot of money to lawyer people to death. That's for
Indeed.
Sure. I'm not sure. So JVHS actually mailed out some stuff that should be arriving Monday. I'll talk about that next week.
Cool.
It's an upcoming project that I'll be working on.
Yes, Curtis.
No Trina again.
Trina has other prior engagements this evening.
That's true.
But we're hoping she'll be back to our regular scheduled bat program
in the fall
next Friday.
I don't know if it's every Friday that she does her meetups or not, but
I think it's every.
I'm not really sure.
It's every Friday, but I don't think she goes every Friday. It's just that the last couple of weeks they've had like special events, I guess, where it was Pride Month.
Gotcha.
And then I think this is some sort of executive thing. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's a makerspace thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Hackerspace, I think she said.
Yeah, it's a queer hackerspace, I think.
Yeah. So that's cool. She's meeting up with people in real life.
Yeah, RL.
Which is important.
People who are
IRL.
Also into cool retro stuff.
That's true.
And common and modern.
So who knows? It may bring some more people to the group to share their creativity and whatnot. I don't believe it's a meet space. It's a meet up space.
Yes.
Wrong kind of meat.
Yeah, they're not eating a selection of Wagyu. It's not a Wagyu meeting.
That's right.
Or a hot dog meeting.
Yep.
Although it's questionable whether or not hot dogs are actually meat, so potentially not. So yeah, this week we have the Science Fiction Convention, AVX or Avalon Expo here in town. I've been there all day, setting up our display for the retro computers. Retro technology, I should say, group of Newfoundland and
There's
Labrador.
Trina.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, see, I told you she'd be here.
There you go. For those of you who are missing out, that's
There
a
she
quick
is.
teaser. There's Trina.
Yeah, there's Trina. That's your daily dose of Trina.
That's right.
Trina a day keeps the doctor away.
That's right. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So I've been down there all day setting up our area. We have probably a 200 or 300 square foot area set up with about 15 or so vintage machines. So it should be a fun time. Had a few people through before I left around 4 o'clock today. I came home because I
Is that all weekend?
It's all weekend. Yeah, it goes. So it's tomorrow
Awesome.
and Sunday. I'm sorry that I'm yawning. I'm absolutely beat. It's been a very long week, and I'm on vacation, which is the funny part. But it's been a very tiring week. Yeah, so that's what I've been at all day. We set up our free table. That was fun. I brought a whole pile of vintage stuff to give away. I also brought a whole pile of I guess vintage like reel-to-reel recordings and 8-tracks, cassette tapes. A friend of mine had given me a large collection that I had no real want for, so I brought it with me. So hopefully some of that goes home. I did keep a bunch of the reel-to-reel stuff that was still new in package. So.
Hot off the press here, for those of you in the know, there's just a few hours left to submit your aerial attack scores on the Coco Nation, for those of you who were wondering.
Also, this fresh in, you folks better hurry up. I feel like torturing myself with an 840 AV. So.
Oh boy.
Poor Steve. Steve, I've sent thoughts and prayers with you, man. Thoughts and prayers. Eric says no live stream for me this weekend. He's going camping. So that's
awesome.
Eric, you should live stream while you're camping.
He's going glamping, I believe.
Oh, it's
he
glamping.
said.
Yes, he's going Instagram camping. Gotcha.
Yes.
Very good.
No, I'm
very
pretty
good.
sure. Did I see a video or a short that he said he was going glamping?
Something
or am
like
I
that.
making that up?
I think he mentioned he was going camping the other night on Discord when we were chatting.
Maybe that's what it was. I feel like I read it or heard it somewhere. Well, I didn't read it, so I must have heard it somewhere.
Steve, it's not a phase. It's not, it's growing up there, like your parents are like, oh, it's just a phase. No, you torturing a Macintosh will never be. You'll never snap out of it. Ryan, do you have a reel-to-reel data tapes? Do you have reel? No, it's all audio. It's all like reel-to-reel audio recordings.
Yep. High five.
Yeah, high five. Thoughts and prayers and image writers. Good one, Scarlett. That's funny. I will be recording a video for a photography video. Okay, yeah, that's what he mentioned. He was going to do some.
Steve uses the edges of the tractor feed paper as a rosary.
Yeah.
So he just counts the dots.
He counts the beads. That's his
right.
beads.
Yep.
All right. Praying to the almighty God of retro computers.
Pets will keep the tent from blowing away.
It's true. Eric Curtis Boyle says, Eric, how far up in Canada will you be? It's true, Eric. You're not that far from the Canadian border.
That's right.
So you
very
could
close.
You can come this side of the border and go camping. You might get eaten by a moose. It's been known to happen.
Frank
Cool.
Hello.
So yeah, I'm not sure where our special guest is this evening. I haven't gotten a message back from him.
Well, it takes a lot of prep to look that good.
It does. I agree.
So,
it's hard to.
He's still in hair and makeup.
Yeah, well, I'm looking back in the green room. I mean, we have all of his demands that he requested.
I know.
Did you read that list of demands?
No, but I hired an assistant to read it to me.
Okay, he wanted all green M&Ms, and all the green M&Ms had to have the M's facing upwards.
I know
how long it took your assistant to fill that bowl of M&Ms.
Well, it had to be the exact shade of Hunter Green M&M, not the generic M&M.
Right.
These were special order from Hershey itself.
Well, you mean Mars?
Mars.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't get the right ones the first time.
Yeah, well, the first time you just got weird Hershey kisses. And we were like, what is this, Frank? What did you do? And then, of course, there was some discussion of, like, he wanted 3-ply pink toilet paper.
Well, and the problem is, with me being dyslexic, I really couldn't tell which direction the M was facing, whether it was the right way or the wrong way.
Well, you thought you were ordering W's.
Exactly.
Right.
I kept hitting the key on the keyboard there next to Q.
Mac84 Steve says, I don't have my pants on. Is that proper attire enough to join? Listen,
How's
Gut
that
Bomb,
different than Trina being on the stream?
yeah, and Gut Bomb sometimes is not wearing
That's
pants
true.
either. So
That's true.
you're in good company.
That's true. Actually, we would like to know what it's like with that Quadra 840 AV.
Yeah, I want to know, like, how bad is it? Because I feel like this is the one you've been working on.
I feel
for a
like I've
while,
seen
right?
this like a couple years now, right?
This is like the Groundhog Day computer, right, Steve? Like it just keeps coming back over and over and over and over.
Hang
Sign me
on.
up. All right, send him the
I did
link.
because I want to know. I
Yeah.
just sent. Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yeah,
I sent you the link. I want to know all about this 840 AV.
I want to do a thing for our just that does the reading. The more you know, with the star.
Oh, he has more than one 840 AV. That's why.
Oh, there are multiple. Oh, that's why.
my
Okay.
gosh.
Please hold.
It's like multiple personalities.
Oh God, are they like tribbles? Do they just keep reproducing? Anyway, while we wait for Steve, so the show should be fun this weekend. Looking forward to. We've challenged one of the local charity gaming groups to a Unreal tournament.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So is that done? Would I just say Unreal tournament, or do I have to say Unreal tournament?
Well, it's like people who say ATM machine.
Machine, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing. But because the game is called Unreal Tournament, is it an Unreal tournament?
Or do you say it's Unreal Tournaments?
Or do you say it's UT 2004 tournament?
As long as it's not UTI, I think you're good.
Yeah. But anyway, so we've challenged them to it, so that's going to be fun. They actually raise a lot of money for really good charities, so should be a good bit of fun. I threw the gauntlet down the last time we did this show, that we demanded they, in true Klingon, that they satisfy our
Unreal Tournament squared. There you go. That's the official answer.
Unreal Tournament to the power of 2. Yeah.
Henceforth, it will be known as such.
Perfect. Anyway, so yeah, we ended up challenging them, and they picked up the gauntlet this time around and said, yeah, they'll take us on. So it's going to be 2 of us versus 2 of them in probably a half an hour.
Fat table. File allocation table.
Table, yeah. True enough. Or is it like SCSI interface?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
It is small computer systems interface.
Something like that interface, yeah. So we're gonna it'll be probably a half-hour challenge. Top score wins. So I don't know what the prize is yet. I'm gonna bring some silly prize to present to them.
On, what is it? Pitch Perfect 2, where it's like epic bragging rights and a $24,000 gift card to Dave, or $42,000 gift card to Dave & Buster's.
Dave & Buster's, yeah.
Okay, everybody. There are the Crips, there are the Bloods, and there are the Quadra 840 AV owners. And he wears a blue shirt.
Oh, how does that? What's the gang sign for an 840 AV owner?
Well, the only one I know is website.
I would imagine it's just like burnt. Your hands are all burnt from the soldering irons.
No. The gang symbol is Command Option PR.
Oh my god!
Just to reset.
Steve, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you folks?
I'm doing well.
Any better than they take my universal healthcare card?
Well, I encountered 2 issues on the way downstairs.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I forgot I put a Mac Pro at the top of the stairs that a friend
Ouch.
gave me. I had to move that. And now my speakers aren't working. So you're in mono coming out of a 2012 Mac Pro tower. But that's a me issue. It never ends.
So Steve, we had spoke Sunday?
Yes.
I completely forgot, so I'm just going to mail you those discs. You let me know what's on them. Because you'll get to it before I will.
That's a bold.
I completely forgot, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, what we should do is we should clone the disc and see who gets them first, or gets to them first.
This is a project here that I've been tinkering with since the dawn of my YouTube channel, and it's still dead. So your assumptions of me getting anything done on time are appreciated, but foolish.
So there are multiple 840 AVs.
Yes.
I recall seeing streams of you working on it, and I assumed they were all the same one.
I also made the same assumption.
Yes, the one, the famous one is the same one. That's okay. That's one. There was another one that I bought off eBay that works fine, even though it has the original caps. Wow. And then there was another one that I bought from the VCFE swap meet a year or so ago that was a new old stock service part, but the caps were leaking. Okay. And then I have at least 2 boards that are not mine that are client boards. Gotcha. So there's plenty of hell to go around with these things.
A lot of it going around, absolutely.
Do you refer to the original one as Bill Murray? Because if you don't, you should.
Yes, so
it's like Groundhog Day.
Garth says 2 cats reference. There are 2 of them. So is this Schrodinger's 840 AV? Well, at least, as long as you don't turn it on, it may work and it may not work.
At least it's not the 660 AV that a very kind viewer donated to me, which they noted, do not turn it on, it catches on fire.
Oh, bye.
Because they sent the ROM sim with it, which is somewhere on this desk, and it's charred
oh boy,
God knows what the heck happened to it. But yeah, that's a parts machine. But
I don't think that's how to make s'mores.
Yeah. I don't think I want that.
No, don't eat that candy.
That's your 4th of July, display. You put that outside, you plug it in, and you have some fireworks.
Yes.
Why is the fire department coming, honey? I better get inside.
Don't breathe the toxic smoke.
Ah, boy.
Delicious.
Mesothelioma.
So which one are you actually working on this evening?
A friend of mine, one of my clients, friends, whatever. It's not mine. But they asked me to take another look at it, and I was very eager to do so until I remembered that this is on my desk. So I have to figure out where the hell I put this. But yeah, it's that one, the classic 840 AV, death, unhappy noise symptoms are the power light comes on and absolutely nothing else. No chime, nothing.
Just flat.
Just flat dead. And you could use one of these little snooper cards, which, if your audience isn't familiar with, were made back in the day. And it's a very rudimentary card that I'm actually trying to reverse engineer.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just need the time to do it. But
I like that.
You basically have like little power LEDs and cloth and stuff. And it'll tell you if the thing turns on. And we get some of those lights. So yeah.
Now, is that one you're able to use a tech step on or no?
The 840 AV, unfortunately, no. There is no tech step. The lovely thing about the tech step is it works great when it works, but you need the machine like fairly well along and working to like diagnose any of it. So back in the day, if you had like a bad piece of memory or a bad ROM or something like that, that's great. The tech step would have helped you from leaps and bounds of figuring out exactly what's going on the board. But with the problems that we're dealing with, leaking capacitors, bad traces, things like that, those are problems the tech step was really not designed to solve.
They weren't expecting that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a great tool, don't get me wrong, and the reproduction is a great thing to have in your pocket and your toolbox, but it's really not aimed to solve the types of problems. It's very helpful to like, for example, I could do a memory test, and if that test fails, but I know the RAM is good, then I say, okay, what's between this system and the memory, what mux chips or whatever is going on, and you could sort of work yourself backwards.
Sure.
But there's been plenty of times where the tech step is like, hey, you're good to go, and then the SE30 or whatever, God forsaken thing I'm working on will just like keel over, and I'm like, oh, great, that's perfect.
So I experienced my first 2SI today. I've never seen one where the battery bombed so badly it actually ate a hole in the board.
Yeah, it does that.
I've never seen it before, and one of the guys in the retro group brought it with him, and he brought the case, and the case had a burn hole in it from the acid. I was like, holy God!
Rudy would like to see the board up close again.
Oh, the snooper one.
Sure. Hold on, let me make you big.
It's very simple. If the light catches it correctly, you can see the minimal traces.
What's going on there?
Going around on this. So they just use the standard header there, but there's really not much. I know on Tinker Different, someone has photographed it in detail. I believe these are all very common chips that are available. You got some.
I would imagine the hardest part is finding that connector for the.
They still
make them. You can still get them.
I've also seen back in the day third-party folks. They didn't even buy the connector. They just had bent pins
Oh,
Not
jam
even
them down in the
plastic.
slot.
Yeah, I have a SE with an upgrade card, and it's just like they're just bent pins. I'm like, I guess that was good enough.
Did the big bad biologist make that card?
Steve, do you have the manual for that?
His grandfather made the card.
It's great fun.
I actually scanned the manual for this, so that's on the Internet Archive. I think someone else may have scanned it before me.
Someone's got one for sale for $25 on eBay. That's why.
They are. I have 2 boxes that may have the card inside. The thing is, the software was sold in the box. The card was sort of like a bonus. So depending on the version and depending on like the sticker on the front of it, you may have a card inside. You may not. It was very hard to crack as far as what I could tell. But I got the piece of software, and someone else got the other box at VCFVs. I think they're like $5.
Oh, awesome!
So they're not really like worth a lot, but I mean, I can't imagine that this thing has too much logic in it. That I would love to adapt, a new bus made one, but also like a PDS version because bus and PDS probably share enough of the same signals for you just to check out the voltage and the activity in ADB and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that in 2035 or whenever I have time.
Whenever you have time. You and Joe have all all these projects. It's like eventually we'll get to them.
Yeah. When Joe and I are retired and losing our brain power, the thing I was gonna do with the thing.
But you just keep doing the same project over, thinking you hadn't done it yet. So it's just like 20 of the same project.
What's this? Throw it out. Start a new one.
Like Grandpa Simpson.
Exactly.
Cool. So what else have you been working on? Anything else fun?
Oh gosh. I released that Vintage Apple Basics video, which
was awesome.
Oh, thank you. People always wonder how long those things take to come out. I started writing the script in 2021 of the topics that I wanted to cover. And then I think I dusted it off in March. I threw the script away and just like focused on the bullets that I wanted to cover. And then I recorded it like 3 or 4 times and realized like, the focus was off or my hair was going or something dumb and had to re-record it. And then I had a preview on Patreon. That's the much longer version. I decided to cut it in 2. So the one you see now is covering startup issues and a bunch of other stuff like floppy disks and drives and formats and stuff. And I had a whole section that was 30 minutes long of all SCSI. Like, if you don't know what SCSI is, this will get you where you need to go. And so that's going to come out next week or whenever I get
Trina.
But my friend Bruce has a nice little cameo in that, so that's a lot of fun.
Nice. Hello, I like Bruce.
Hello, Trina.
Hello, Trina.
Hello, Trina.
But cool. So that took longer than expected, but glad to see that people are receptive to it. It's one of those videos that it won't get a lot of views now, but like in a year or so, they're like, "How do I do?" Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
What have you find folks been up to?
Basically setting up for this science fiction convention all day.
Oh, okay.
It's been a lot of fun. Getting stuff ready for that, setting up computers. I recreated a cable for recreated a keyboard for the SX64.
Recreating a keyboard is much more difficult than recreating a cable.
Well, I recreated a cable to adapt a Commodore 64 keyboard to work with the SX64, and I got it working. Except half the keys don't work, and I can't tell. My cable looks fine, but I'm not sure if it's like a pre-existing condition because I never had the Commodore turned on. So it's like, anyway. So
maybe that's normal. That's why there's not many of them around.
Yeah, tomorrow's job
only half worked.
Poking and prodding to see if I can get that to work. But it's a lot of fun. Frank, anything else new with you?
It's been a crazy week, just busy with the work stuff. Last week, the end of the month's always the busiest for me anyway, because making up things that got missed during the month because of weather or whatever. Right. So got through that, and then starting the new month, took yesterday off, which was nice, but had to work today. So,
gotcha.
But yep, it's going.
Did you guys do anything special for the 4th?
We cooked out. We did fireworks and stuff last night, so it was nice. We did quite a bit of the big, loud, boom, bang stuff.
Scare the animals.
Which was nice. Yep, exactly.
What was it on The Simpsons? It's like, show your patriotism by blowing up a small piece of your country.
Celebrate your country's independence by blowing up a small part of it.
We just violate the airspace.
I got to say, is it Disney? Whoever had the drones.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the fireworks, that was impressive. It was, like I would
Yeah,
say
you don't
1,000
need all
drones.
the loudness if you just want to like do like a light show. Like I'm all in favor of that because
Yeah.
every time we get fireworks around here from like 4th of July or whatever, it's you just hear the dogs like going nuts around the neighborhood. And I just always feel so bad for them.
And you always see the next morning on the Facebook groups, it's like, oh, look, missing dog ran off last night during the fireworks.
Even during it, I'll get notifications on the neighbor's app or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, there's a dog running around or whatever. And even birds, like we've had birds like flying to the window. You know,
oh, no kidding.
Get all disturbed.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it's
somebody was talking. I'm not sure if it was Joe. Somebody was saying that one year their local municipality replaced the fireworks show with a laser show, and people revolted. Like they got up in the middle of it and were like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, and everybody left. They got mad because everybody left early.
I mean, no one's gonna stop anybody from doing their own stuff, but it's like our town had like a dedicated thing a few days ago. That was like a little fireworks thing, and I think it was like 20 or 30 minutes. I don't think anyone's ever gonna like fully stop that, but I fully support ones that aren't as loud. I mean, as a kid, I was terrified of that. I was like, oh my god,
Rudy's onto something. So do fireworks with drones aimed to hit. So you just get some of the Roman candles and you shoot at the drones.
The display that I watched with drones had Roman candles attached to some of the drones.
Oh, holy
and they
cow.
lit off during the. And somebody actually hacked. I'm not sure if they hacked it or if they put it in there. There was a Trogdor, the Burninator, showed up.
Oh yeah, that
in the. That's amazing.
That was I think it was a very skilled
hacker.
Job.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Was?
Okay.
Because I saw the one with the DreamWorks one where they did the Shrek.
Oh, I don't know. I'm very skeptical when it comes to these things.
Hold on.
Oh God.
Who's here?
Who's that? I don't recognize that person. Who's that?
Hey. Hang on. We got to compare mugshots.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Where did you find that photo of me?
Biometrics accepted.
That's right. Yep. Retinal scan complete. So how was your meetup, Trina?
It was good. We hung out. I sold Ryan's dead laptop.
Perfect. I'm glad.
Nice.
So yeah, the person's super happy with it.
Awesome. Glad to hear. And they're doing some like gaming on it, or they're just using it for a workstation.
That's
they're
hilarious.
using it for a bit of both.
Nice.
Today in the news, multiple UFOs have appeared and broadcast all over frequencies. The statement, "You idiots, we came in peace and you blinded Fred with your lasers. We were out of here, losers." That's a hoot.
Hey, Rudy.
I don't know if you guys have that problem, but we have had that problem here where like teenagers get high wattage lasers off Temu and try to like hit airplanes with them.
So the FAA
very dangerous.
takes that shit seriously.
They do, yeah.
They
They
will
seriously
come
here
to
too.
your house.
Yeah.
Yes. The men will take you away. They don't mess around with
in
stuff
black
like
suits
that.
will take you away.
Yep. They don't mess around with stuff like that.
Do you want to see what I'm thinking of buying?
Oh God.
An airplane.
As long as it's not from what is it? sexydragon.com or whatever the website is.
Bad Dragon. Jeez Louise.
Bad Dragon.
Now you have to buy that other domain name so nobody else associates your channel with
it. What are you looking at?
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out.
This is just that 2CX.
Hold on.
It's an AMP connector. It's a VLSI chip. Some traces.
Why isn't it letting me do?
Oh, she's been gooey.
All right, I'll do the entire screen.
Yeah.
Is that a bodge wire?
Close all your windows first.
Oh
all
God!
Right, ready?
Yeah.
We're in the wormhole.
We're gonna go over to Marketplace.
Sweet infinity shot.
It's a paradox.
So this person is selling this box. Can you see what I'm looking at now?
Yeah.
Looks like MacBooks.
Okay.
Looks like you don't want anything to do with those airs.
And then there's a bunch of
now, Trina, do I have to remind you? Remember what happened last time you bought a lot?
Okay, so Trina, that lot looks identical to what I have in my garage, and you couldn't pay me to take it.
That's $600 at least.
Yeah,
and then there's
that's
also
a lot of zeros.
I've got something in Steve's garage.
Oh, I mean, you might make $200 off that lamp Mac.
I mean, that's the thing. But look at how look
at the condition; they're pretty stripped.
The biggest.
Hold on, I have questions.
The biggest red flag to me is
Okay.
that a lot of the screens are off the iMacs,
Yes.
which
Oh, I
means
know.
they were the only salvageable part.
Yep.
Or they pulled the screens and take the hard drives out, and they just couldn't be bothered to put them back in.
Which means,
I
turn
doubt it.
tables.
Yeah. I realize now what my question was. I was like,
Either
why
way-
is that Mac Pro so much bigger than the other Mac Pro? But it's because it's sitting on top of another Mac Pro.
Another Mac Pro. Yeah.
It's a bit tall.
Either way, I'm in talks with the person over here. And
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay,
I'm obviously gonna
Trina,
haggle
where are
down
you
the
gonna
price,
put
'cause-
this shit?
Other question: how are you going to get it
Um,
from Ottawa to your house?
Oh, I have somebody who I'm gonna stop sharing now.
Okay.
I have somebody who is willing. We're gonna split gas and drive up to Ottawa.
So
Trina,
where are you gonna put this stuff at your house? That's a lot of stuff.
Listen,
Think of the cats.
listen,
Trina. Think of the
you're
cats.
thinking logistics. I'm thinking computers. Okay.
You're a
if-
business owner. You should be
I'm
thinking
thinking.
logistics.
I don't think the landlord will let you put them all up the stairs going to the second floor.
Also, think of the weight.
You're gonna get a lot of
Imagine
I'm
if
on the main
Steve
floor.
put all
Oh, I
his
know,
laser
but
printers
You're
on
gonna
the
have to
second
go
floor.
out of your apartment and up the stairs to fit all of it in there.
Well,
It's gonna
I'm
be
just
too
gonna
heavy.
talk to my. I'm just gonna talk to my neighbor and
There
be
you go.
like, "Hey,
Here,
do you have
stash
room in
this,
your apartment?"
stash this for me. No questions.
I mean, I expect every one of those laptops
Oh
to
my
be
gosh.
iCloud locked or have a hardware issue, and anything that's not that's too old to be iCloud locked in that manner, I expect other issues because that looks like, something that I would be like, oh, I'm done with this. Bye. That's what that
Hold
looks
on.
like to me.
Hold on.
Hold the press. Stop the
Hold
presses.
the press. Run!
Hey,
Well,
sorry.
Ron,
My son was working on his Eagle project,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
it ran long.
That's
So
all right. Life
I'm
happens
just
now.
now here.
Did you catch it?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm-
good. Good.
I'm so glad I don't have to fill in for Ron anymore.
Oh, the lights came on.
We just assumed you were still in the green room because we had your list of demands,
Oh yeah,
and there was some
it's
lot
true.
of real hard. Like all the M&Ms had to be green and facing up.
No, they all had to be red, and it was 1993.
Oh,
So you could
I'm sorry.
I told you you're colorblind.
in an era
You
when
would
you
know.
could
You
not
would
get
still
red
know.
M&Ms. That was a big deal when they came back.
Oh,
It was
Ron.
like the Berlin Wall coming down.
So in sort of a sense of the pot calling the kettle black here, Ron, I would like you to take a look at the ad that Trina's sharing and have plans to pick up.
Ah, yes.
And
Share
sort
your
of
screen.
oh, do you
de-escalate.
want me to reshare?
Ron,
By
is
the
this
way,
what you
Trina,
want?
you thought this was an Old World Tech Friday. This is actually an intervention.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
sorry.
That's great. Yeah.
This is called a little thing called payback.
Mhm. I see, Frank. I love a thin client. What's the model number on it?
Oh, she's not a thin client. That's a whole computer.
Oh, Jeebus.
No, this is a real computer. Yeah, this isn't just the thin client. It's
Trina, take us out of the paradox, please.
M600.
Hold on for a second.
In Lenovo or
No, Think Center. Yes, sorry. Yeah, Lenovo. Think Center M600.
cool.
I have a bunch of Dell Optiplex ones that are similar. So if
Oh,
this
yeah?
is not something that'll work for you, I will pull the Optiplexes out.
Okay, neat. So is this that thing where Trina's like, it's like 100 MacBook Pros in a box? I don't have the power bricks, but I'm selling them all, and they've got
Worked
like 50%
when last
battery.
tested.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's a
is.
box of
kinda what it is,
100.
yeah.
It's a box of 100 activation locked
Exactly.
MacBook Pros. It's like
You're saying all the buzzwords.
yeah, I'm saying that those exist for like somebody like
Oh, and
Louis
then there's-
Rossman to pull parts off of
And to get very angry because nothing
and to
works.
complain about the whole time.
And there's also
If I
iMacs.
bought these in New York, they would cost me 10 times as much.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in Texas, nobody uses a Mac.
That's right.
Oh my
And
gosh,
then
these
there's
are
also all the stuff.
Like
these are Celerons.
I'm just imagining how much glycol is leaking out of those Mac. Because some of them's got to be G5s, and they got.
In any case, it's a big pile of crap, and they want a bunch of money for it.
Well, I'm not going to pay you the money they want for it, obviously.
They
Well,
want
I-
600
by
Canadian,
the time
which
you
is like
pay gas-
$1.25.
Anybody that's got like a pile like that is quote knows what they got. So
Yes.
you know how much it's worth, Trina? Unless you
Mhm.
know how to do board repair on those MacBooks. $0.
You're taking e-waste.
No,
Yeah,
it's actually
you're just
it's
taking their
actually worth
e-waste.
negative 500 all the time and effort you're putting into it.
Yeah, I know.
Plus gas money.
Not to discourage you.
No,
Trina.
don't worry.
I've been in that
Don't forget,
situation before.
Trina is the lady that'll sit there and like test DDR3 RAM that people just throw away.
Yeah.
It's like, it's $4 a stick. I only spent 8 hours on each stick. Somehow the math works.
Because I sell it for $8 US, and I'm in Canada.
How does Computers with Pride stay in business? Spending 8 hours testing one RAM module that we sell for $4?
It's
The
viewers like
answer,
you.
volume.
Viewers
I
like
haven't heard
you.
that in years. Viewers like you.
Are you watching PBS and not paying? Then you're stealing.
That's right.
So, I have a question. Did any of you guys see the video that LGR did?
The
Yes,
one
he's
last
done,
week.
He's
or
done
the-
hundreds of them.
No,
Which
no.
one?
No, not the
The
latest
one
one.
on collecting.
Yes.
Yeah. And how he apologized for blowing up the price on big box games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And admits that he no longer buys them
Yeah.
because they're too
Well,
expensive.
why would he? People just send him stuff. That's like
Well, yes.
Adrian saying, I don't buy computers anymore. It's like people that give up watermelon for Lent.
Yes.
It's like, where are you buying a watermelon in April?
Listen, obviously I've never been to Costco because they're watermelon all year round.
That's a good t-shirt idea. I gave up watermelon for Lent.
Yeah.
Well, we like saying here in Newfoundland, you gave up seeing the sun for Lent.
Yeah, it's like
'Cause
I gave
it
up
doesn't
meat
exist.
for Lent. Everyone did.
Yeah.
Um,
Tom Barber says he gave up Mac 84 for Lent.
I can't give up you, Tom.
Why can't I quit you? It's Command Q.
Why can't I force quit you, Tom?
Broke
Tom is
840i
the,
Mountain? Or
yeah.
broke 840 AV Mountain?
Tom is the Google Chrome of our friends group. You just can't quit him.
And for some reason, there's a noise somewhere, and it's eating all your RAM.
That's right. Yeah. So Frank, that Think Center has a Celeron N3050, or maybe an N3060,
I don't know.
or maybe like a Pentium N3700.
So let's get one of the i5s, like the Optiplexes.
Well,
Just
at
the-
least a Think Center M600, tiny. I mean, that's what the sheet says.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Like, that might not be reality. I don't know. But let me compare. Hold on one second, because it might be enough.
Ron, are you looking for a Lenovo Mini?
Not necessarily. I'm looking for a small computer to do my QEMU setup on.
Okay.
So that way that I don't have to, because the machine that I got right now is like some kind of AMD like 1.4
small?
gigahertz machine.
Yeah, can you run it on that, Ron?
On what?
The pet.
How
Oh yeah,
small a
that's
computer?
yeah. It'll do just fine. I'll run the QEMU killer poke and it'll be all set.
It'll just burst into flames.
Yeah.
Every time somebody mentions QEMU, I think of QEMM for DOS back in the day, which
Yeah.
was quarterback's
Extended memory manager. Yeah, it's pretty handy before Microsoft just started rolling all those features into the OS. So
Before they start pulling the what is it? The oh god, what are they being charged with?
is it
Speaking of box
monopolizing
games,
things?
Yes,
Illegal
it is.
monopolies.
But there's a term for that.
That's cool. Antitrust.
Antitrust, thank you.
Yeah.
an old Activision game. So
I know, for Mac. Optimized for Power Macintosh.
That's
I have
right.
a special version of that.
What's
Does
special
yours
about it?
also have the violence, nudity, sex, and language?
Mine
This
is
one
made
says.
for mine is made for the MPEG card that Apple released for the Performance.
Oh wow.
Wow.
It's
Half a frame per second?
you get better video quality only if you bought this $200 card that was obsolete in 6 months.
Speaking of 1 frame per second, I don't know if you guys watch Tito over there at like Macho Nacho Productions.
Oh yes.
Does a lot of console mod stuff. I like watching his videos, especially now that he has figured out that it's like there are more than like one or two people that do free music for the YouTube library stuff. Because he had for a very long time, he kept using this one clip that, I'm not joking, is 1:45 long. That's the whole clip. And so he would have like a 20-minute segment where this 1:45 clip would repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. And it has this very like noticeable little like piano riff in it that it's like dun 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 dun, like, and it's like, so you hear that like every minute and 45 seconds. And every video I'd be like, hey, I love your content, but honest to God, the search function is there. You can just pick a different song. Okay, so speaking of what you just talked about, he just did a video where it is you can now upgrade your OG Xbox to 256 megs of RAM.
Ooh.
And that is way cool for somebody like that used to do like play around with all the homebrew and play around with all the dev stuff and run Linux and, you know, do all that other fun stuff that you could do on the original Xbox. And so what he did is he got the kit from this guy and they are like flex PCBs for installing this RAM. He immediately like took them and just like to bow the legs out, because that's part of the instructions say to kind of bow the legs out. Well, I guess he overdid it because they're super fragile. And so he sent it to the guy, and the guy was like, oh yeah, that's kind of a thing. And you know, it's no big deal. If you don't know, you don't know. And so he went ahead and modded it for him. The guy that made these special RAM chips, which it's like a BGA style RAM on a little interpolar, like a little adapter that adapts it to like a QCEF or whatever that package is. Like you think about like what cache chips look like on a Pentium motherboard.
Yep.
And so like a little surface mount thing. So he got it and then immediately just ran a bunch of stock Xbox games and was like, I reached out because I was like, I'm not noticing any performance difference. And he goes, with that stuff, you won't. And then that's the end of the video. And I'm just thinking, somebody fundamentally misunderstood what this like upgrade is for, like what it accomplishes, which is, oh my gosh, my Linux box now has 256 megs of RAM instead of like 64 or 128 if you did one of those other upgrades. But it's like, I am just thinking like for the emulation scene, like for doing stuff on the whatever the heck you call it, Neo Geo, because some of those Neo Geo ROMs are pretty big. That it would really improve performance on stuff like that. But you know, to think that you're going to load up Shenmue and it was like all of a sudden it's like, whoa, oh, splurt, like that you've got all this performance. It's like, no, it's written for the base hardware.
But I think that's where PC gamers get confused, right? Because there is a quantifiable, you know, you put in more guts to your computer, game looks better.
I threw more oomph at it, and it didn't make more oomping.
Right. Which is the same as someone who wants to play like a 20-year-old game on a modern PC, and well, this is only giving me 30 frames per second. It's like, yes, Doom will only ever give you 30 frames per second. There's nothing you can do to it to make it give you more.
Yeah. And so he was, so the big test was this. He was wanting to see, so he loaded up XBMC or Kodi and was like, it was basically just like there's a video like on a share and a Samba share that was like an 8K video file of him like doing one of his videos, and he tries to play it and it's like 1 frame an hour, and he was like, I can't believe that it didn't improve the performance. It's like, what are you talking about? Anyway,
that's funny.
Very frustrating.
Yes. It's like it's a YouTube, a Facebook group. You clearly didn't understand the assignment.
Yeah,
it's like for people who don't really know what they're not they know what they're doing, but yes, they completely missed the purpose of that project, which is funny. So, Ron, what are you working on? We went kind of around the room earlier to find out what people are working on.
Well, I bought a bunch of kits. I got a bunch of stuff. I was going to restock the store for Joe, and then thanks, I'm big. I was going to restock the thing for Joe, but the problem was the ICs I ordered are not the TTL version; they're the CMOS version, and so they do not work. So I am in a holding pattern on a bunch of projects right now.
So now is that a screw up on your end or on DigiKeys?
No, it's JLC PCB.
Oh, jail.
So and it's they only put the part on that you ask most of the time, and so but this was talking with one of our friends that I was just sort of like, hey, like, you know, I can't get this other part that I've been using. They're out of stock, and it says they're back ordered. And they were like, "Oh, just use this part. It's the replacement part for that." And it's like, okay. So I ordered it, and it's like it's a 14-pin dip, and it's like on 50 boards. So anyway, if there was some kind person out there in the universe that's listening right now that owns a Moo gun that they don't want, they want to send to a forever home where I will love it and care for it and call it George. I'm here.
I'm gonna write that on a piece of masking tape before I put it on there.
Okay,
George.
Thank you. I just, if the universe provides, we'll see.
The universe finds a way.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
So why are videos so big these days? Gigabytes, Eric Rangel says.
Why are videos so big these days? Bitrate and resolution. You can still make small videos.
You can.
That's right.
These are like shit.
Compress it, make it a real video file, call it a day.
Oh, we were talking about Real Video Player the other day. What a wild time that was to live.
Yeah.
Getting Real Player to work, and then
especially the encoding side of it.
Yeah, and then VNC comes around. You're like, holy God, this made life so much easier.
This thing does everything.
The DivX codec.
Inflation.
Really, like opened up the world. Yeah. So the DivX codec, like the Microsoft.
Yeah.
Inflation hits everything.
M4 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, so I'm going to share my screen again because I'm going to show something.
Oh gosh.
Actually, I'm going to show a couple things.
Oh
yes,
gosh.
Real Player was a piece of crap. You're 100% correct.
But it was the only piece of crap we had at the time.
Yes.
It was the style at the time.
Yes.
If anybody is interested in a deviled egg hot dog, because that just sounds amazing.
It actually does. I think I would try that.
Right?
That would kill me, but okay.
But no, we were talking about videos. So today on Vintage Apple, I shared Ron's video saying we could all use a laugh during these times. Smiley face. And this was the first reply I got back from this person. Weak sauce. And the 5300 in ID4 is actually a prototype. In the scene where David loads a CD-ROM while on the drive from New York to DC, the model plate reads PowerBook XXXX is clearly shown. Also, the CD drive. I'm like, did you not read the title? It's a laugh. Take it as a joke.
This is the internet trainer.
This is the internet trainer. Trolls be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna have to burn that username now.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you got found out.
Here goes a perfectly good alias.
Ollie C42069. I'll call you right out, buddy boy.
Damn it.
I just shared it as a lark.
So speaking of vintage collecting, like we talked about with LGR,
yes,
about big box games and whatnot. Rudy just put out a video this week also about vintage collecting, but his was a little bit of a different take on it. Talking about how he tries to only collect 2 of each kind of thing, kind of like Noah's Ark. Where he's keeping one essentially for parts, but he's not hoarding multiples of the same machine like some people do. Not singling anybody out, Steve. But no, he was just saying, as far as prices and everything going up on vintage things, it's good to get things out there. in the hands of people that really do want that machine or want to collect the machine. And there are a lot of people who kind of like hoard things that other people could possibly use or whatever. So he tries to make it a habit to only collect at a most 2 of each kind of machine, one essentially for parts, possible parts for the main one that he keeps of each model or type of machine. So I thought that was a cool video.
Yeah.
Because it seems like LGR did a video about collecting. I've seen a few other people doing videos about vintage collecting and how the price has gone astronomical on a lot of things. So what are your guys' thoughts on those?
So one of the things I will say is that as somebody who follows the vintage computers, but also follows vintage automobiles and vehicles, is that what we find in the automotive sector right now of collecting is the 70s and 80s are becoming very popular. But the earlier vehicles of the 30s, 40s, and 50s are actually sort of plateauing, if not coming down in price. So like what would have been like a Duesenberg, 1930s, very expensive high-end car, would be several hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars 10, 15 years ago at Barrett Jackson, is now going for, 60 or 70,000. So everything has a time. And I think as people get older, as the people who are nostalgic for stuff die off or get old or start moving on from their collection, prices go down. So I don't think we're going to see prices stay high forever on everything. Right?
And really, COVID really had a huge part
100%.
in the entire thing. You had a crap ton of people all at once, had a lot of free time at home.
With credit cards.
Yep. Yeah. And said, hey, what am I going to do to keep myself busy?
Well, that's how I got back into it.
Yeah.
And I blame LGR for it because actually I blame the algorithm for suggesting LGR to me.
Yeah. I was watching Clint like a long time ago. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really neat. Like he reviews a lot of fun things that I'm not necessarily into. Right. But I do know that a lot of his audience is basically just like, Clint, what are you going to review next? Because so I can go ahead and order one on eBay before the price skyrockets and things like that. So, and then it just got to a point where he had such popularity that it was just like people are just sending him everything left, right, center. Because he would do those mailbox videos and they'd be like 9 hours long.
Right.
So,
and now he doesn't take stuff because it's become too. Or it takes very little stuff because obviously he's reached the end of his collection, or it's just a space restraint.
It's a space issue.
Yeah,
he's got like 9 storage units, all the size of Computer Reset.
Right.
I just use WinZip. I shrink it all down.
Shrink it all down.
There you go.
That's right.
WinRAR.
I archive it.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually the only person who ever paid for WinRAR. So
you probably are.
Yeah,
when you pay for WinRAR, you get a free storage container at U-Haul.
That's right.
It's
unlimited.
Yeah, it's a little promotion they got going there. But yeah, like the prices have definitely gone up, and even I remember, and I've said this before, 5 6 years ago, I remember throwing out a lot of stuff because I thought it was cool, but I'm like, it's just an old computer, and now I regret throwing it out. But then I also have the mindset that you can't keep it all. You also things aren't valuable or collectible if there's hundreds of them just randomly everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
What I think's interesting about the entire situation is, and a lot of us do this, we feel nostalgic for a certain thing or a certain type of computer that we first started with or was exposed to early on. What's funny is the way that things cycle through as to what's popular now and what might be popular later. At some point, Chromebooks, kids from now will be down the road. I just have to laugh. It's like kids are going to be like, oh yeah, Chromebooks, because those were the first computers they were exposed to.
Well, a lot of people say the same thing in the car industry. They're like a Honda, not a Honda Civic, but like a Kia Sorento or SUV won't be collectible in 40, 30 years. And I'm like, yeah, it will be, because kids and people remember that as their first car.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen Rabbit essentially was a shitty car, but everybody remembers them because there was millions of them, and now there's none of them. And so people have a nostalgic connection to it. And, all these economy cars are why is the E-Machines so collectible now? It's a shitty computer. right? But people, it was their first computer, so people remember the unlimited upgrades. Right, like
never out of
obsolete.
date.
Never
Yeah.
obsolete. Yes. Yeah.
Right. So there's a season for everything. There's a time for
There is.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's interesting the things that do become popular later down the road. That people never thought would.
I think nostalgia is also is very connected to utility. Especially notice that like a lot of people will have more connections to things that were used and then thrown away, more so the things that were bought to be collective. Right?
Exactly.
That makes sense. That's why.
Well,
again, going back to cars, old Volkswagens for me are there's none on the road anymore.
But going back to utility, like you were talking about, down the road, somebody may find some new use for Chromebooks that we never thought about.
Yes,
sure.
It's this table. Oh, this table. It really rocks. If I could
what's gonna
there was
pop that up?
something about an inch thick to jam under the leg.
Yeah, and I don't want to waste a pack of playing cards again.
Right.
Insulation is no longer available in 2046. We're gonna shred every Chromebook we could find and stuff the walls.
Yeah. So
you never know.
Ryan, you keep saying that like the Volkswagen Rabbit is not on the road anymore. They are, but it's just in the form of iron oxide.
Right. It's dust.
So it's like they
got to do a little chemistry.
They just ground down to nothing. Let me tell you a funny thing. My mom had a 82 Volkswagen Rabbit, and she loved that car. It was not a great car, but she loved that car. And I remember she took it somewhere and had an aftermarket radio put in because the radio that just came with it was like an AM radio.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also like an equalizer and some other shit. But there was nowhere to mount it.
No.
So the original radio stays in the car. It's just deactivated. And all the stuff came down. I remember when she sold it, she was like, well, I got to keep the radio. Because in those days, what an investment, right?
Yeah, right.
So basically, they just went under the dash and just like side snips, just cut it all out.
Yeah, and if somebody else wants to take the time to put a new radio,
and if somebody wants to, because there wasn't like harnesses or anything in those days, so it's just like. So my mom gave it all to me, and she's like, when one day when you get a car. You can put this in I'm just like Mom, it's 1987. There's there's no way. But I was forced as a kid to like haul this radio around as if it was one day going to go in a vehicle, and just the back of it was just like it looked like just some rat's nest of like shit, just like this huge like thing of like a million different colors. You'd never hook it back up. How would you ever know? And moreover, the equalizer's built into the radios now.
Right.
It's like
you don't need the separate equalizer.
I finally just threw it away and just like didn't tell anybody.
But we talk about that, like radios, installing car stereos. That's not a thing anymore. Right? Like I did one.
I need a car stereo installed. So
I did one the weekend for my own car because the stock radio that was from Volkswagen failed. Like the entertainment systems now are so ingrained in the new vehicles that you'd be hard pressed. You had to remove part of the dash. Usually, when you buy a radio kit now, it comes with a full dash plate that's a fair size, and it's like a big tablet screen that you got to put in, and the idea of doing aftermarket radios, which was a huge thing, a huge part of culture,
controls,
is basically gone now. Like the tuner scene has nothing to do with big booming sound. Like there are still people that do it, but it's not what it used to be. Like in the 90s, that was
absolutely
right. You had to have.
I'm sure Crutchfield is just like just like eyeing that, going. Oh.
But at the same time, then they can really ramp themselves up to be, if they're able to pivot, they can go back into a nostalgic. Again, being nostalgic, they could start collecting older radios and repairing them, so that they could sell them to people that have a 1992 Honda Prelude and want to put an Alpine stereo, a vintage proper generation Alpine stereo,
Kenwood
or whatever, right?
Yeah, it has to have. I'm not putting anything in that ain't got like the LED flash and shit. What was it? Is a 2005 Hyundai. I can't remember what it was. My old car.
Was it an Excel?
No, it was much worse. but it basically I bought it from my niece for like $400. It's like a driving around town car.
Oh, I remember you sold that recently, didn't you?
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend. I sold it back to her, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Her
hilarious.
ex-boyfriend put a radio in it, and it was like stuck doing all that RGB shit. It could never figure out how to turn that off.
That's awesome.
So
it's the first thing I turned off on the one I did the weekend. It was like,
it would just sit there and do all anytime the car was on. This is
so you're like you're sitting there going, this is what kids with new computers feel like.
This is the start of the rave.
Yeah. I now have a I think it's like a 2009 or a little later than that, maybe a Nissan Cube.
Yeah,
what I drive. And it has a big like 3U factory radio, which it's like you can plug like an old school iPod into it and stuff. That's about as good as it gets, and it has CD. But I'd really like CarPlay in the car, so I keep looking. But my problem is this: I want a knob for the volume, because if I want to turn it down, I want to go over there and turn it down right then and there. I don't want to be like,
you don't want to keep tapping the screen,
into like these little momentary tack switch buttons. I don't really care for that. So I mean, to go to the next radio station, whatever. But like for the volume, I want like a knob. That's like a
Rudy says, what about car alarm installs? That was a big thing.
Yeah, car alarm. Like that's gone now too. You know, that was a huge thing, but now it's no longer.
Well, I remember that was one of the big sells of Best Buy. You had the garage bay where they would do the stereo installs.
Yeah. And it was basically like, I'd be so scared to let them do that, because I guarantee you'd pull that out and it would just be like nothing but like wire nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, you're like,
no tape on anything. Waiting on everything.
Wasn't even wire nuts. They did ours and they just twisted it together.
A bit of duct tape,
electrical tape on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trina?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember back in the 90s, there was this car in a parking lot, and the speaker system was worth more than the car, because he had this. The guy had the speaker system just cranked, and the back bumper was so rusted that it was vibrating. Like I was waiting for it to fall off the car.
So in Germany every year they have the decibel drags. So it's like a drag race, but it's who can get to the fastest to the highest decibel, and the windows in the vehicles will often blow out from the sub.
Rudy says he put a car radio in his 90s 386 computer.
I've seen that in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. So growing up, one of my best friends, Aaron, his dad was like a tinkerer, he's an IT guy, but like an old school IT guy from the 1970s. And he had he always bought like Ford LTDs and like big boat cars, and when he was done with them, he just scrapped them and got another one. Even when we were in the like early 2000s, he was still driving around like an 83 Ford LTD. Like this big boat of a car, big V8 engine, but he took one of the stereos out of one of the cars he scrapped and put it in his like computer room, and it was mounted into the front of the desk, and he had car speakers in boxes that he built up on the shelves next to all his books, and you could like tune the radio, and it was like you were sitting in a car, like you were sitting in the seat, and you'd reach down and you could tune the radio. I remember being like incredibly impressed how he had that all wired up and that it just worked. And at the time I didn't understand any of it, but now I realize it was pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but cool recycling of technology for the time. Right. But yeah, I'm thinking we're talking about nostalgia. In 15 or 20 years, RGB is going to be nostalgic. They're going to be kids talking about, hey, remember that RGB controller that we had on that MSI motherboard with the 13th gen Intel processor? Man, that was cool stuff, right? And computers will have moved on to something else. It won't be RGB. Remember everybody. It's kind of like the Fast and the Furious time frame, right? Like remember computers from the 2003 2004 with the cathode tubes in them, and the just the terrible. You look back and you go, oh my gosh, did we actually think that was cool?
I remember removable drive sleds. That was a huge fad.
Oh yeah,
everybody started buying the removable drive sleds.
Yeah.
I could put Windows 95 on this drive, 2000 on this one, and I could just swap it out when I want to.
I mostly use that for troubleshooting other people's stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Yep.
Or it would be like something
your machine open.
Yeah, or it would be like, oh, well, I'm gonna set something up. I'm going to a LAN party, and this is like the drive that has all of my Northography on it.
Yeah.
And so
See, I
So
can
you-
remember going with my uncle to the Computer Expo Mart in Monroeville, and it was a giant computer show, the biggest I'd ever seen in my life.
right.
And it was just so cool as a teenager going to this giant show where vendors
Mhm.
just sold computer shit like everywhere.
And
It's
it
like
was all
watching
full
those videos of China now, where they go to the markets.
and it was all
And
full
look
of
at
The
it
wet
from
markets,
here.
yeah.
No, not
Frank.
those ones. Like the electronic parts places. I think the one that Steve did a computer repair for the guy,
Mhm.
and he was in Japan or
Oh,
somewhere.
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke,
Yeah.
Duke Miami, yes.
Yep.
yeah,
that
Duke
guy.
Miami. Yeah, that's him.
Yep. He,
Listen, he
I just
eats
thought it
well
was so
enough.
cool.
He doesn't need us promoting him. He needs to promote us.
I don't know
Yeah,
what his
that-
name is. I
thank
just
you.
say that guy.
So
Yes,
he
I'll
reached.
just say it because I got nothing to lose. It's like a lot of these folks, it's like just, it's like, I'm just going to name drop some channel that gets like, that makes 10 grand a month off YouTube. It's like, no. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
I just picture him reaching down into the basement of the YouTube channels and pulling Steve up to the light.
There's a lot I could say about this subject. In a very extreme off chance one of his minions ever sees this, I will digress.
No one watches our show, Steve. It's okay.
Well, in that case,
No, I'm just kidding.
That's not true.
I was
I'm
actually
pretty
having.
sure
I
that
was. Oh.
Brandon Tartikoff watches. So if you're trying to
I
get
don't know who
hired by
that is either. I'm
NBC
sorry.
in the 80s, you're
I'm sorry.
I was having
Um,
fun watching Steve look in his bin, like he was looking at the bottom of it, and
easier than digging through it.
But
you know
Expo
what would
Mart
be
was-
easier? Putting things in a bin that are the same, and then putting a label on the outside of the
So-
bin.
Whoa.
How are you going to label all that e-waste that you're going to buy for 600 Canadian dollars?
alphabetically.
No, Steve's basement.
iBook.
crap,
Yep.
crap, potentially crap.
Well, you'd have to write crap in every language.
Yeah, well, at least 2 languages in Canada, French and English.
Yeah, 2
That's
languages in Canada, French and English. So it's crap and look crap.
Lick crap. Yeah.
Hey, Trina, what bin do you keep those Atari games in?
I don't have any. I sold them. So that was it. I had 7 of them and I sold them. So done.
God.
I don't deal with them.
Not this crap again.
Cool. So yeah, I guess does anybody else have anything they want to discuss? We're discussing
Yes.
some vintage stuff. Go ahead, Ron. What
Yes.
is it? You want to bring forward a motion?
Yes, I would like to table the resolution. That actually no, I wanted to ask everybody what their kind of opinions were on Apple loosening up access for things like emulators in the App Store. Because I know that because originally, like, the big thing that made the splash was Delta, the Delta emulator that basically emulates a lot of like NES, SNES, TG16, Genesis, Super NES, Master System, DS, things like that. And that people were absolutely like, wow, that's really great. You can do all that type of stuff. And then like the gates opened up and now there's like a lot of that other stuff out there. And I didn't know if you guys had really played around with it or if you guys, like, what your thoughts were on it. Steve?
I've wasted many hours playing with it already. And I actually did a little YouTube video about it. There's a few unknown features about like importing saves and junk. So I played around with that. I think it's great. I remember having the IDOS emulator before it was pulled from the store ages ago, like a decade at least ago. And so it's neat to see that. But from what I heard, they're a bit more stingy on emulating computers. If it's a console, they group that into one thing. Someone was trying to do a Commodore 64 one or a DOS one, and they still gave them like a very generic no.
Yeah.
And then how could we solve this? And they just pointed to the rules, like not trying to help at all.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think it's a great step forward because there was like nothing, and now there's something. But I would love to see that opened up to have like, hey, here's a vintage PC emulator, here's a vintage Mac emulator. I mean, like, Apple has to review everything supposedly.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I've been having a lot of fun with it, playing Pokemon games like on the go. I played a few Sega games, just like had them on iCloud Drive. I was able to move my save states from like my TV console to my phones. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm glad a lot of people are making this stuff available, especially that these companies like Nintendo and Sega are not like giving you access to these games. Like, you know, the whole Wii Virtual Console was wiped out. So it's like,
Yeah.
how else are you going to play this stuff?
Rudy wants to know if you can emulate Android phone on the iPhone yet.
Yes, you can. Like literally, there is a app that you can download.
No kidding.
Yeah, that it's and you'll never guess who made it. It's Google. Because so the whole thing is it's basically like a you go and you download this thing, and it's basically it uses Safari to emulate Android on iOS, so you can try out what it's like to have a phone that takes backwards selfies.
Duck Hunt doesn't work on Delta. No light gun.
You can play Duck Hunt with the controller.
There you go, Frank S. Duck Hunt with a controller.
Yeah, that's what your kid brother. You gave them the other controller, and they can control the ducks.
You know, it was only recently that I figured that actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably like 15 years ago, after years of playing Duck Hunt. It's like, holy crap, I can control the duck.
Yeah.
You know, emulation, I assume it's from a legality perspective that they've been so adamant against it for the longest time.
Well, it depends on what you do. So, like Delta is a great example, since that one passed the filter. That's basically the
litmus test.
That's like the evolutionary test for all of this type of stuff, that it passed the filter. Now, granted, there's a lot of stuff that it can't do out of the box. You've got to add, DS ROMs if you want to play DS games and stuff like that. But the other things, it just built in. And it's because they've figured out how to. They've basically,
so
whatever the word is, we're reverse engineered the way that the BIOS works on a lot of those other consoles. So
don't get me wrong here. So why could they not do the same thing like when AUE or Amiga Forever or whatever does, where these guys that put out the consoles that are obsolete, like Sega Genesis and things like that, why would they not just sell you licensed ROMs that you could use with these emulators? So at least they're making some money on the project.
Well, that's
by licensing the ROMs.
When you say ROMs, do you mean games, or do you mean like the actual like?
No, I meant like the software that's going to run on the emulator or whatever.
Oh, companies do. You can go right now. You can go out to Steam or GOG and places like that, and you can buy the Castlevania collection, which is like a Windows wrapper front end for an emulator that just plays ROMs. It plays like Super Castlevania or Simon's Quest or any of those. And you could just go out to the directory where those things are. I mean, there's a couple of like programs that basically just like strips the ROMs out of the executable. I mean, you just paid for a license. How you play them might be a gray area, but for like $6, you can buy the Castlevania collection, you can buy the Contra collection, you can buy a lot of those other things, and then just move it wherever you want it to do. But I know that Amiga people for a very, very long time, to get licensed Kickstart ROMs for emulation, there's that company that basically sells you, or I guess it's Amiga Forever, that will sell you this program, and the program just incidentally has licensed Amiga ROMs. So how you're using them might be a gray area, but the fact you can buy them is like a real thing.
And I know, like, in case of like the Dolphin emulator, that got in trouble because they had the Wii keys in the actual emulator, and that's where they got the shaft, because Nintendo was like, nope, that's our intellectual property, and that was they had no grounds to fight.
Well, that's like that Mutahar did a video about the Nintendo Switch cartridges. Like, there's a company that puts out these Switch cartridges that you can load Switch games onto, kind of like an SD
a
flash
solution.
card.
Yes, a flash card. And the company that was doing those kind of got shut down a little bit because they were putting the stuff out as available and instructions on how to do it.
And then that's sort of where it's like, there's the gray area. Yes, it can be used for piracy, but at the same token, it can be also used with legitimate copies of ROMs. So is it,
Yeah.
are you nerfing it because I'm going to say 80% of people are probably going to use it to do pirated things. But again, if you don't allow people to buy those games to begin with, are you actually losing money as a Nintendo or as a, I think there needs to be some changes to, IP law that says, after a certain amount of time,
for use.
I know we already have public domain, but 100 years is a bit much when it comes to technology because it changes so quickly.
Right.
There needs to be changes that say, after 20 years or after 25 years.
The world has really changed. You're going to make, you're honest to God, you're going to make your money in the first like 6 months. And after that, it's just like, So the idea that you keep all this stuff locked up doesn't make sense in a world that turns on a dime.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, you needed time to make your money in a world that was like, well, I released my book. Send the telegram across the Atlantic to let them know.
It'll be there in a fortnight.
Right.
Right. But and the same token too, you could easily change the laws so that the intellectual property, so the actual like Mickey Mouse will say characters of these games are protected, but the actual game itself is publicly available after 25 years, or the ability to play that game becomes publicly available, even if you still need to buy the game, if that makes sense. Because
Steam. Eric Rangel brings up Steamboat Willie, and it's true that it took a couple years for that to fall into the public domain, and people immediately misunderstood. That they were like, finally, I can sell cigarettes to babies using Mickey Mouse. No, you can't.
No, because the actual Mickey Mouse, I believe, the one that we currently have, is not till 2032 or 2033 that becomes.
Because it's a different. It's the design of it, right? So that design. So, but you could absolutely like the design of Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie. You could make your own.
Well, it's like the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that came out came out because Winnie the Pooh is now public domain, but it was not the Disney Winnie the Pooh.
Right. You didn't see him in a red shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. He was just a bear character that killed people.
He actually was for part of the movie. He was wearing a white shirt, but he killed so many people.
It turned red. It was the Bruce Willis effect.
Right. So it was part of the character.
Right.
It was a natural outcropping of his journey.
Right.
Story.
Yeah. It was his development in textiles. Right.
Yeah, I think especially the early days of video games, like coming from like, let's say the mid 80s, the 90s, there were so many companies and spin-offs of companies and things like that where they don't even know who has the rights for, or someone passed away and they don't know who belongs to this or that. And so there's so many games that are in such a gray area that will never be released normally, that have been absent from these collections of collections, either due to intellectual property or music rights. Like, for example, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, they'll never re-release with the original music because they're afraid of Michael Jackson's lawyers, So it's a preservation thing, and it's also, what are these companies going to do if you can't sell it? There's so much going on there that I think, it would be great if these laws would change. It'd be like, after X amount of years of no attempts by any licensed party to do whatever, this is now, in the public domain. You must give credit to this entity that, supplies this or whatever. But it's if anybody followed this stuff to the letter, 90% of the preservation and going for computers or video games would just be non-existent, because everything would be locked away.
Well, that's the scary thing too with the archive.org, is they have to apply every 5 years to be exempt from the DCMA, and there's nothing that will prevent them from not getting that designation, right? Like, it is very possible, depending on who's currently in power, that that designation could be taken. So that's kind of terrifying. And again, I'm not sure if it's a matter of they need to move their server somewhere that's not the United States. I don't know.
What isn't terrifying these days?
Right.
That's true.
Wallet.
But you got a lot of people like Steve who put, God, I can't even imagine how many hours of backing stuff up to the Internet Archive.
Well, if Trina spends 8 hours, if Trina spends 8 hours testing
crazy.
RAM, Steve spends 16 hours uploading floppy disk images.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have a contingency plan when that goes down, but I do have a folder of all the stuff that I did upload. So if
Right.
I, had to relocate it or do whatever.
So what we need to do is somehow create, kind of like how BitTorrent works, where we put just all of these software titles into a blockchain where it's distributed among everybody. So where
Or-
it just
How about you
never
send me
disappears.
shipping money and I send you a Blu-ray disc?
Are
Or
you
we
talking
use-
about the creation of Where's Coin? Where's Coin?
Yeah, where's coin?
Where's coin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or we
Well,
use
it's all on the blockchain.
a P2P system
Yeah.
where we'll call it some fancy name, I don't know, like Kazaa or something, or Emule, and we'll share files that way.
I thought of a cool one the other day. It's gonna blow your socks off. It's called Napster. Now listen
wow.
here.
Wow.
Now listen.
love the
here.
name.
Maxter.
Maxter. Oh my
It's
God.
already crashed.
It is reliable as the drive. That's pretty bad.
But we were talking, you were talking about some of those gray area software. There should be a mechanism. So, like in the automotive world, at least here in Newfoundland, if a car doesn't have a title, there are processes I can go through to actually acquire the title for the said car. There should be processes available for lost media or disowned media or limboed media where somebody can represent a community or represent a group, whether it's archive.org. They can present to a judge, say, hey, here's all the information, and the judge can make a ruling saying, yep, you guys now own that.
There is. You just got to get a hold of Artie down at Warehouse 13, and he'll get a copy for you.
There you go. Yep. Actually, there's a number of companies that media companies that have swooped in and grabbed like sort of a tenuous, sort of set of rights to other people's stuff. Like a great example is Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
Because like there was a version of it that was put out that basically did not have a copyright notice.
Yep.
And so immediately that kind of fell into the public domain, and they were
did.
like, oh no, so we gave our movie away. And so what people have done, since that's a public domain thing, is they've gone through and they've reworked the soundtrack to add new audio cues or just kind of sweeten up the music, or at the very end of the movie they'll put an after the credits sort of thing. Like John Russo, I think, is like one of the, like, because it's one of the people that was involved in the original property, made like an updated version that had like a little thing after the credits, and it was now it's like a unique work because it's got soundtrack changes and it's got this additional scene, and he just released it out into the wild to see what would happen. And so people came back and were like sharing it as if it was the public domain version and sued a bunch of people. So, and the same thing has happened with like Columbia or Sony. There's a few Stooges shorts that are public domain, and so they have spent a good amount of time seeding fake public domain versions of those Stooges shorts, so that way that they can turn around and seek legal action.
See, that in my mind is like, if they call it entrapment with police. If police set you up to commit a crime, that in my mind is a setup to, like, there should be no grounds there at all.
Well, but it's I say that they did it.
Yeah,
they did it.
Right.
So
but
somebody went out and got a DVD at Best Buy of the like $17-18 regular retail, and then just released it online and just called it whatever. They didn't say 1998 remaster or something like that. And people just started sharing it, and they were like, oh no, fuck you, this is like the the not public domain version.
Right. Because I know, like in the George A. Romero case of Night of the Living Dead, he reissued several versions that are like a director's cut, or that are like when he did all his commentary, or when the
extended edition,
an extended edition, very similar to like Evil Dead did the Boomstick edition,
right?
Oh
my God, talk about a movie that's been resold like 400 trillion times.
Right.
It's like all the different DVD versions of that. But
it was Anchor Bay, and then Anchor Bay was bought by whatever, and then whatever was bought by what. And every time they can reissue a new version.
It's So Army of Darkness or Medieval Dead, which is what they should have called it.
100%.
they've released like a million different versions of that. Like
And
because part of it is Dino De Laurentiis
Yeah.
Had the international distribution rights, so there's a different cut for Europe and things like that. So, but there's companies that have colorized things in an effort to lock down the copyright on that. So that was a big thing. Like Ted Turner took a bunch of like colorized classics. He took even a few kind of things that were getting ready to slip into the public domain, so he could do that. Or Warren Beatty, my hero. Who is keeping Disney from being able to use Dick Tracy for anything until it goes into the public domain.
Right.
Like made that movie. Disney was like, oh, we're gonna make a bunch of these, and they're like, oh, maybe we won't. And so it just out of like just straight pettiness, as like every 5-10 years when the rights were coming back up, he would just make like a special where he'd put on the suit and then just like make a little silly Dick Tracy thing, and then like that counts. He'd put it in a theater out in Melrose, and just like it had a theatrical release. I sold 20 tickets. Yeah, I'm keeping the rights.
It's a Dick Tracy Christmas special.
Yeah, he's done a couple of them over the years, and they're all terrible.
Oh
but it's just being petty and keeping Disney from making more money off of it.
So how did he get the rights to it though? Because Dick Tracy
he was the one. He wanted to do a Dick Tracy movie forever. Right. And he tried and finally got Disney to pony up some cash to do it.
Right.
But the thing was, as part of it, is that he was the one that went and bought the rights for the Dick Tracy character, or licensed the rights from the estate to make a Dick Tracy movie. And then he was looking for people to partner with, and Touchstone, Disney, came up with the cash to actually make the movie. But he was the one that retained the rights to the characters and all that type of stuff. So I guess it was part of it when it finally came down to cash. He was like, well, I'm the one that's been holding on to these rights forever and paying. I need more money. And Disney's like, oh, we can't give you more money. So there you go.
Funny. And then he pays the licensing fee every year, I guess. Or was it a one-time
years or however
whatever
cool. I mean, there's a million YouTube specials about it and things like that, but it's sort of like a famous thing in the biz about like if Warren Beatty wants to leverage your property, by God, he's just going to keep paying.
Who runs out of money first? And go.
Eric says the HyperCard trademark is still active.
Yeah. I'm sure Apple just stays on that stuff. I mean, especially since how important that is.
Yeah.
As like the influence for like the World Wide Web and everything. So
the other thing I was going to say is like, the fact that Apple wasn't able to leverage Dick Tracy to help with the watch sales, or to do a commercial with Dick Tracy using an Apple Watch is a missed opportunity, I think.
Absolutely.
Right, because I mean, I don't know about you, but that's the first time I ever remember anybody talking to a watch was Dick Tracy.
Absolutely.
Steve, what did you lose? You lost something.
WTF can sue everyone who uses the letters WTF.
I have the power supply for my tech step.
Okay.
It's
Apple power supply.
9-volt DC, 500 milliamps, center negative.
Yep.
And it does not work. At least when I test it with my multimeter. It does not supply the oomph it needs. And I'm out of focus. So I'm looking for a 9-volt battery or overkill option as my bench power supply.
Oh, there you go.
I'll hand you mine.
You grab your multimeter. We're going to test this live, sir.
Okay.
I want to see your power supply. I want to see with not under load, just what it reads. Yeah. Let's do this together.
I have an original Apple Tech Step, not one of the new ones.
Yeah, so does Steve.
Yep.
Steve is fancy calculator.
Yeah. Apple
Mine's
Tech
on the bench
Step
with a bunch of
AC
cable.
adapter.
Yeah, yours doesn't actually leave, does it? It sits on the bench permanently.
Let's see here.
Remember, center negative.
What brand multimeter is that, Steve?
The Kaiweets KM601.
Mine's Klein Tools.
Okay, bougie.
It's not a fluke.
It's not a fluke, but
I have one. A fluke.
So actually, now it's reading 13 volts.
Okay,
that's way too many volts.
I mean, sure.
That lets that out the magic smoke.
Okay, hang on.
But when I plug it into the device, it's seemingly not enough to power it up.
So, Steve.
Rudy says, Steve, check the reefer cap.
So, Steve, I've got to go the extra mile and complicate things even further.
Because yours is European.
Ooh.
Mine's European. I've got to plug it into my converter.
Now, does it actually need a converter, or can it just run on a changer? Like, is it a 110 to 220, or is it just a 220?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It'll say on the thing.
Input 220, or I'm
Okay.
sorry, 240 is what
Oh.
it says. But I got to figure out how the hell to plug it into this converter. I really don't know.
And that was when the west coast of New York State went black.
Hang on a
Eric
second.
Rangel, you want to copyright the musical note E sharp. I want to copyright the musical chord E minor.
Is it supposed to have all these damn cables with it? I've never used it.
Yep. That's how you use the damn.
Rudy wants to know, Trina, are you peeing?
No, I went and got cookies.
Oh, your diabetes is not going to be happy.
Nah, it's all right. And now I'm just back listening to you guys yammer on.
Yep, I'm yammering.
So we do.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have the little adapter thing, so I'm not sure where to plug this in.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I think mine is just cranky.
I mean, it says output 9 volt.
Well, you know
500
what?
milliamp.
I'm going to test something here. I have a second unit with no power supply. Let's see if this one will power on. Because I can't recall.
I'm just not sure how to use this European plug.
No, this one's not happy.
Wait, does it go in like this?
So it must be the power supply. Don't break yours live on television.
Let out the magic
I'm
smoke.
just not sure how the hell it's supposed to plug into this plug on here.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, because if I pull out some of my BBC Micro stuff, the plug is
So the other exciting news is this, I watched it. The new Beverly Hills Cop is out. It's quite good.
Oh, I don't. No spoilers, please.
I won't spoil it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you get to see the new Bad Boys, which is out in theaters now. And Twister, the new Twister, comes out this week. So,
let's see. Yeah,
Boring,
so
boring.
the plugs on my
Trina,
BBC
you don't like anything
Micro and
cool.
stuff are like this.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
that's a UK plug.
I
Yeah,
like the
It's not
originals.
normal. I
The-
don't have.
Oh, let's
Plug.
redo the movie. Oh,
They're not redoing them.
Lord.
They're sequels.
Oh, good God.
The Beverly Hills Cop was actually quite good.
If we had a Trina's way, we'd have 80 Dick Tracy movies by now.
Yes. And none of them would be canon.
Oh, Dick Tracy. Oh.
If
What?
Twister doesn't have Helen Hunt in it, I don't want to see that shit.
It does, in fact, have Helen Hunt in it. So.
Oh.
In a
So then
white
I might
tank
watch
top
it.
again?
No, I feel like she's more of the grandmother, mothery role at this particular juncture.
Oh.
She's got to be what?
So I need
Late 60s?
Ron to send me a 9-volt battery in the mail.
She is 61 years old.
Yeah, so?
And poor, what's his name, is dead. So, Bill Paxton, God rest his soul.
I'm waiting for the new Beetlejuice.
I am also
CGI
very
stuff.
excited about the new Beetlejuice. That's like my.
I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, so
Yeah.
anything he does is good.
If I put
are
all
we-
these together, is that going to be 9 volts?
Why don't you solder them all together and see what happens?
Okay.
Will the new Beetlejuice also feature completely inappropriate relationships between a minor and an adult? Like the original?
Probably. It's Beetlejuice. He's a pervert.
Yeah.
Actually, most movies are like that, it seems, if you actually really look.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie The Blue
Yeah.
Lagoon? The 80s was a wild time, and early 90s.
Oh, wait. let's talk Voyager, shall we?
No.
And what was wrong with that?
No, I like Voyager. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Hey, I found another DC 9-volt thingamajig.
Oh, it's center negative. Damn it! Cut
Damn it! It is the wrong one.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for making
I
me
jinxed
look.
that.
Wait, don't you have a bench power supply you can just adjust?
What the hell do you think I'm looking for?
I'll fax you over one, Steve.
I have a pile of 4 different ones.
Oh God, CDI.
I had
Oh
it.
God.
I had it.
Here's a couple. I'll send some.
Yeah,
Thank
Lydia
you.
Deed's daughter is what's her name from Wednesday Wednesday Adams from the new Wednesday.
Oh,
Jenna
I see it.
Ortega.
I
Jenna
found it.
Ortega, that's her. Yeah.
It's over there.
Oh God, Steve! Every time you turn your camera, it just gets worse. And Steve is dead. Will Steamboat Willie be remade? Yes, it's a horror movie. It's already out. It's got a killer mouse.
So
in
how
it.
long? Just a question, because I haven't been on the show.
Isn't that
for a while.
Krampus?
Yes, Krampus.
So just a question, because I haven't been on the show for a while.
Yeah.
How long does this show go for now?
80 hours.
80 hours.
Oh, okay.
What we do is we go at Eastern Standard Time, and then we loop back for Central.
Right.
Sure.
And then
one, then the
Mountain, then Pacific.
Yeah. We're doing time shifting, but all as one large show.
Well, we're also a timeshare company now.
Yeah,
Right.
So we're
this
selling
stream
time
doesn't end
slots.
until we get $5 million.
That's right.
All right, Rudy, have a good night. Don't work too hard.
He's like, I'm getting the fudge out of here.
Steve's taking out a bench power supply. Ron's gone to some sort of koi pond. Trina's talking about whatever it is she's talking about.
I'm on Blue
Madness.
Sky, because yeah.
All right, I found one of my banana plugs.
Banana.
You only need the one, right?
Yes, you just get a piece of naked wire.
I thought those were just called butt plugs.
I mean, I don't know how tight your sphincter is, but
Ron,
came
welcome back.
at the right time.
I mean, I sent you photos.
I am so glad you no longer have my phone number.
Oh, I
I
sent
sent-
If anybody
I
wants
sent-
to call Steve, his phone number is
right.
I sent
Klondike
Joe.
5.
Klondike 5555555.
Ooh, that looks really good.
I sent Joe a link to join in
Join?
the shenanigans here.
Yeah.
Joe,
Join us, Joe. One of us. One of us.
help
I
me
got a
find my
package in the mail.
stupid stuff.
You got a package?
Oh yeah,
Oh, in the
Package
mail.
in the mail.
what'd you get?
It is from Mac Effects, our good buddy Mark.
Ice cream? Ooh. Ooh.
Booty.
What is that?
Ooh.
Booty.
Oh, I like that.
So
Wait,
it
you
is-
sent me a link.
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
Mine arrived too, but I haven't opened it yet.
So it is
Joe, Ron's
Booty
showing his
is a-
booty.
yes,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
a smart port emulator
No.
for the Apple II.
Cool.
And
So all
these
we
were
need
available.
really is all we need at this point now is Javier, and we
Mhm.
can do a retro repair old world tech Friday.
yeah,
Roundup.
there you go.
And technically, Frank is a bug killer, so he can use the Roundup.
That's true.
There you go.
I apologize in advance if I'm a little bit less exuberant than normal. I got my COVID vaccine today, so I'm kind of
Ooh.
bleh.
Eh.
Well, you could be sick watching us even more than usual.
Check
Ryan,
Discord.
check Discord.
Sick.
Sick, man.
Awesome.
Can you tell I've been taking a nap all day? Can you
Your eyes is awesome.
need
I thought
more
that was
banana
just your
plugs.
natural look.
Yes, I naturally look like freaking Wolverine. Sure.
I was trying to figure out what I was going to cosplay as. I think I can do
I'd
Fat
watch.
Wolverine. Like if I do my hair, if I just
What
stick it out
hair?
like this.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna go
I
at.
can do
See,
Fat
You got
Wolverine.
it.
goes
You got
up.
it. You guys look like the clown from Spawn. Excellent.
Right.
I withdraw my question.
Good gad.
Anyway.
Eric Rangel, that is a booty card.
Get your booty. And then shake it. Hey, it's Get Bomb.
Oi.
So
But is
we're
he
just
wearing
all hanging
pants?
out.
Hey,
We're
look,
having a
everybody!
class
Friday night
reunion.
party.
Hey, look,
For
3 bald people in a row.
everybody that's been
It's bingo.
on
3 in a row. Yeah.
Old
tic-tac-toe.
Why
World
does
Tech
it smell
Friday.
like farts down here?
No, we're
Oh.
missing Sloopy.
Do I smell fart like farts?
It's not Wednesday. Taco Tuesday hadn't happened for a while.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm
tacos.
technically working, so.
Gupom, I have a question for you.
They're all
I may
billable
have an
hours.
answer.
What's the least dangerous way I could replace a banana plug on my bench multi power supply?
Use your teeth.
Thank you. That's the answer I was looking for.
Lick it.
Go grab a bit of wire out of your wall.
Set the voltage to 30 and the amps to 5, and put
Ooh.
one in this hand and one in this hand after you've licked your fingers.
My small
Wait.
intestine.
Hey, Joe. Frank
My
S would
heart
like
tingles.
to know if you feel well enough to give us a thingamaboob. You heard it
Hey,
here,
Steve.
folks.
Did you hold your bench power supply up to the camera?
It's a. I'm not pronouncing that.
It's a Kung Burr. I have the same one, but mine is white.
A dear
I
friend
bet,
of mine
I
gave
bet
this
your
to me.
cumber is white.
It's
Oh.
Kung, as in Kung Fu.
I see your Kung Burr and bring a wang attack.
Oh no, my camera's
Wang
Wang attack?
That's what it says,
I
wang
prefer
attack.
the Wang attack.
You got a wang attack.
Yo, my wang is high tech, yo. Hey, I found it.
See, I have the same one too, but it has a different name on it. Jack68K says. So yeah, I think Amazon just changes the name periodically and just relabels everything.
No, did you ever see that thing where like people who Chinese manufacturers who sell on Amazon have to have a unique name for their product, like a unique brand name?
Really?
They just make up random words.
Mac 84 Co.
Oh, Joe, my shoes came today, by the way.
Yay!
I
I
love
need to
them.
get some of those. I really like
Do you know
them.
where you can get those shoes, guys?
They look fantastic.
Okay, instead of saying where you can buy them, Ryan, why don't you actually go buy a pair?
Why don't I go buy a pair?
You already did.
Yeah.
And how will people know?
You can do both.
I can do both, can't I? I didn't think
Yeah.
that was mutually,
Yeah, well, go do both.
awesome.
So that makes 3 of us that on this stream that has a pair.
Hey, all I have to say is if you're going to Kansas Fest next week or the week after next, you better be freaking wearing a pair. Actually, no, wait, no, that's my thing. That's why I made them. Don't wear them to Kansas Fest this
Right.
year,
But if
Until
you're going to
and
VCF
then wear them
Midwest,
next year because I need all the credit for the idea.
They're less expensive if you buy one at a time. Just saying.
Buy the left shoe and then finance the right shoe.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing.
I've got my
Oh,
right
God.
one on layaway right now.
Before the Industrial
Classic
Revolution,
consumer. I'll
Yeah.
take 10.
before the Industrial Revolution, shoes didn't have sides.
right?
They were universal.
Interesting.
That's uncomfortable.
Also, the term sabotage comes from the shoes that the workers would throw into the.
Okay, Valeris.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Star Trek 6.
Who wants
Oh.
to test my voltage?
Does this mean
Frank
that
S, I
Ryan,
ordered the laces.
does this mean that Ryan
Ah,
is actually trying to sabotage the stream?
sabotage.
No, Trina, listen, I would never take your job. So,
They
I know.
take our jobs.
Oh, and by the way, news from the hackerspace.
uh-oh.
The members only Fridays is only going to be every 3rd Friday of the month now, not every other Friday.
Oh,
So
now
I will be
can't
able
come.
to be. Now I'll be able to be here more.
Well, that's good. See,
Well,
we were the original
It
commitment.
was good while it lasted, guys.
Yeah, it was. The ratings were up. The view hours were up. It was. We're smooth
I'll be
sailing
here
towards 200.
I'll be here next Friday.
YouTube Studio. Just let's check the things here.
The metrics.
Yeah, 3 new subscribers in the last 28 days.
Nice.
What's my cut of that?
The
1.5.
check is too large to show on
1.5
camera.
subscribers.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So,
Analytics.
I got a person and Joe Pesci. Got it.
His cut
Funny
is
how.
18,000 Canadian, which you can just transfer to me.
Our
And they'll
watch
go by-
hours is 21.3 times more than usual. I'm sorry, not 20 times, but 21.3 more than usual watch hours in the last 28 days.
Wow.
So
That's all
it is
because of
going up.
Ron.
That's right.
We're just gonna say that's all Ron's
Bring
doing.
I'd bring him in.
Yeah.
32% more impressions over the last 28
I
days.
put up
I'm
them
getting
big
chills.
numbers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. I hate the vaccine side effects. It feels
Oh,
like you're really getting sick, but then it only lasts like a day.
Then you do, yeah, it lasts one
Yeah,
day and
yeah.
you don't get the chest stuff. Yeah, and it's
Yep.
like,
And like for me, every time that I get it, like I literally can't get out of bed. I'm like,
hey, Trina,
can't
can we
move.
see your chest stuff?
Quickly.
right here.
Woo! Yeah!
God. Oh gosh.
Thingamaboob?
Yeah. So Trina, when you get your stuff, what do you like? What, DoorDash? You can't get out of bed. What's going on?
No,
gets her
when I
COVID
get my
vaccination.
vaccine, every time I
Oh,
got my COVID vaccine, it just literally puts me flat on my back,
got it.
and all I do is sleep.
I know what else puts you flat on your back, Trina.
Oh my gosh. Is it a banana peel?
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Fun.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Mario Kart, look what I
do
did.
that
Joe.
again sometime. That
Yes.
what was that Mario Kart knockoff we were playing?
Wacky Wheels.
Yeah, I
Tux
like
Racer.
that. Tux Racer. That's it.
Gut Bomb, why don't you tell us about what you got done there? I'm gonna make you big.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I ruined two bad things to make one decent thing.
Oh,
I took a really crappy old Atari joystick and took the cable out of it.
Mhm.
And then I took the circuit board on here and I mangled it until it worked with this. And now I can use it on the Amiga. And it's
Neat.
better. Yes.
Cool. And have you
You
3D
think of
printed a
my new hat.
replacement? Have you 3D printed a replacement joystick for the thumb pad?
No, I have the real one that came
Oh,
with
you
it.
do?
It has the metal threads and everything.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're all very quiet. Have we asked what everybody else has been up to? Yes, I think we've covered everybody's.
Screaming
Except
and
for
crying.
Joe. Joe, what have you been doing?
Yeah, Joe, what have you been up to this week?
Sleeping.
It's not very Joe-like.
That's it.
How
Not
many
feeling
projects?
well,
how many
mentally,
projects in the
physically.
pipeline do you have?
Past few days, so I'm just kind of whatever.
All right.
Sometimes it's like that.
What are you trying to do to Joe, Gutbaum? Are you trying to pull? Oh, watch out,
Stop!
Joe.
I need that.
Listen, he's not going to can't be bald like the rest of us.
I mean, I'm working on it.
You're working on it, but you're not quite there yet. Hey, Dave.
It's going to get to right about there and stop. It's the same as my dad. It's just like,
Dave, I sent you a message on Discord.
Feel
I've got
free
a
to join.
package. I got a package on the way from Dave in the mail, and I'm really excited about it.
What is it?
Oh,
Can you
really?
tell
I
us?
do.
What is it?
I do as well.
What is
It
it?
is a polo shirt with the Dave's Vintage Apple Tech logo on it.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I'm going to wear it to my next job interview.
Oh, nice.
there you go.
Or your next murder of an old person.
I won't be doing that.
Ah,
So your job won't be
No,
at a nursing home?
That's Dave's job.
Can be taken.
What's that,
Dave's jobs.
Frank?
I said, so you won't be applying to any nursing homes.
Actually, be surprised at how many serial killers work at nursing homes.
If
They
true crime
weren't
is
serial
coming,
in
killers
hospitals.
before they worked there. They were driven to it by all the old cranks.
that's
I have a dumb question.
okay.
If me
auto.
Okay, thank you.
So you guys aren't sponsored by Kai Wheats, right?
Nope.
Here's the answer: get a better multimeter because that thing sucks.
Well, I'm just saying. It says there's 10 volts coming out of it, so I assume I have the polarity correct.
Yes,
Okay.
because it would say -10 if you had it backwards.
But
Yeah, it's probably fine until in about 5 seconds when it starts going beep 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 because it wants to
But
turn
that's
itself
an
off.
AC transformer, and you need a
Oh yeah,
DC
that's output
transformer.
9 volts AC.
all right, I'm glad I didn't plug that in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need a 9-volt DC center negative.
Yeah, I think I have one of those.
Try
I can
again.
set.
You don't want Marvel, you want DC.
That's
What
right.
are you doing,
You
Steve?
need
What are you working on?
negative 12
trying-
volts, center pin positive.
What's he
He's trying.
Steve, what's
He's
he doing?
trying to get an adapter that is 9-volt DC center negative
Uh-huh.
to power his tech step.
Okay, Steve, I got you.
I just put batteries in it.
Your
I know, I'm
banana,
looking for my damn 9 volts.
your
Grab
banana
a smoke
connector
detector. Who
is
needs that
missing,
shit
right?
working? Just grab one.
Your banana connector is missing for your thing.
Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
have,
you
I
can-
have them. I just, then I'd have to just cut a cable and make a thing for the thing.
Oh, I used things. The alligator clips on one end, banana on the other, and then I just,
Did the thing.
had an old thing that had a barrel jack on it, and I just clipped those onto the thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go find one to sacrifice. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Don't let the things touch because it makes sparks and it's fun.
Yeah.
I think
It's
he's
true.
trying to see if his tech step is non-functional.
Yeah, I think he's
But I
trying to-
thought he plugged it into the spare, and I don't know if it worked or it didn't. I'm assuming not.
The power supply did not work on the spare either.
Spare. So might as well just cut the cord on that power supply.
Yeah.
But he's not sure if that's why the spare didn't turn on. So
Everybody's so quiet.
I'm looking for a video on YouTube.
So you're
that's
while
great.
while being on a video on YouTube, you're looking for a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
to
very
reply to
meta.
somebody.
What we don't see
I
is
can't
a
find it.
series of Rick rolls that you're trying to find the right Rick roll to send them.
Mhm.
No, I'm actually trying to find a video from a porn star
Oh,
talking
That's great.
talking about how absolute piss poor the porn industry actually is. So
That's all of them. That's
He
any
doesn't
video.
know that.
yeah, everybody who works in that industry complains about it because it sucks.
Yeah.
I used to work
not-
in that industry not as a performer, and it sucks.
Most of them find these girls and they pay them X dollars and they get addicted to the lifestyle, and then they provide them food, clothing, an allowance, and then they take it all back. It's like the old company stores with the mining towns and stuff where you're
Human
dependent. You're
trafficking.
dependent on them. Yes, exactly.
anyway, I wanted to share it with a Discord that I belong to. So
That's great.
And it's not Macintosh friends. That's rude.
I know,
rude.
right?
You could go ahead and share it on the stream too, Trina.
Yeah, I totally will. Why not?
Well,
I mean,
as this
it is
being
what
the
it is.
last Old World Tech Friday.
I mean, it's,
No holds
it's a
barred.
it's a YouTube video. He's fully
Holds
clothed and
or
everything.
holes?
Both.
exactly. Yes.
All.
All the
Um,
things.
It's actually been a year since we've started. It's been over a year now,
Yep.
but it's been it's been definitely a year of episodes. So
yes.
that's exciting.
Mhm.
We're,
Each
year-
episode feels
We've
about a year
accom-
long
we've we've
sometimes.
accomplished.
Yeah.
what
well, when
we
you work
set
with
out.
Trina, everything feels like a decade.
Who's here?
Yeah.
Dave.
Dave,
Dave,
How are you,
Dave,
Dave?
It's about 100 degrees upstairs here. So
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. So you went by what's his face's
I'm stuck.
James Dean's closet
Yeah.
and then immediately came on the stream.
you gotta roll a pack of cigarettes up in
It's up
your
under the
sleeve there,
sleeve.
Dave.
Lucky strike it.
Now, Dave's biggest complaint about World War Tech Fridays is he works late, because he's Pacific time, so he
Mhm.
catches the very end of it. So
Yeah, but what
Dave, we
specific
stayed
time is
on
he?
for an extra hour so that you can join us.
oh, we appreciate you.
Well, it's completely, we forgot it, but it's an impromptu 1-year anniversary shit stream.
That's
We're
right.
just gonna call it that. 'Cause it's
Actually,
been-
when did the very first episode actually air?
I have no idea. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was
I'm
about,
This
gonna
is
go
still
back
the
and look.
first one. It just never ended.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
God.
actually Purgatory. This is Groundhog Day.
This
Yeah.
is the stream that never ends.
Yeah, much like
This is the stream that
Phil?
never
Now it's gonna be stuck in my
ends,
head.
and it goes on until I get a copyright strike on your stream.
April 14th, 2003. So we're well past.
2003. Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
2023.
Time flies.
SadMac365 says, "Hello, Dave's here."
Yep.
As seen on Dave's Vintage Apple Tech.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what are you working on these days? We've been kind of going around seeing what everybody's working on.
I'll be. I got that. I got that Mac Classic from Garth that's got the tube in it. So we're gonna
Awesome.
pop that in. But we're only going to stream for 4 hours Sunday because it's supposed to be 106 on Sunday. So
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
it's about 95 out there in the garage right now. So
Just out of curiosity, have you? I mean,
Steve.
we have it up here in Canada. I'm not sure if you guys have it down in the United States yet. It's this thing called air conditioning. It's an amazing technology. I gotta say,
You have to understand the States is still in 1776 because that's all I
Right.
keep hearing about a date. So
See, this is why I'm gonna stop using UPS. So I mailed Dave a package on the 1st, and here it is the 3rd, and it just finally made its way an hour from me.
Should have
Now,
used ground advantage.
was a ground
Wow.
advantage.
No, I
any,
paid extra.
any update on that, Ron? Have you got
No.
any satisfaction with that at all?
No, it's pretty much no.
oh hey, Sad
Yeah.
Mac.
It's just no.
No, it's just no.
Computer says no.
hey, Seth Mac, how's it going?
I sacrificed a power adapter for a router I will never use again.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, you're gonna
Not
you're
that
gonna regret
Linksys.
does it say mayonnaise do?
Hey,
Ew.
Steve, I have a question.
That's disgusting.
That's
Why
Hold
didn't
on.
you?
I'm gonna make Joe bring that
let's see
back
it
up
again,
with
Joe.
you so we can.
That's yucky.
Oh, that's
Yum.
actually sounds. See, it depends on the mayonnaise.
Ooh,
no,
Trina,
No,
no.
there's no depending on the
No.
mayonnaise. Mayonnaise in beverage form is pure vomit. It's
No.
vomit.
It's like
No,
it's an egg
it actually,
smoothie.
that actually sounds
It's an egg
really
smoothie.
good.
Excuse
No.
me, how did you
Really
gain
good.
500 pounds? Well, I've been drinking 8 cups of mayo a day.
Doctor said 8 cups of mayo. That's 8 cups of water. Oh,
Mhm.
Okay,
Luke,
Steve, I have a question. Why didn't you just sacrifice the power adapter that was not originally working with the tech step to get the barrel connector off of that?
Because it's an Apple branded one.
yeah.
I see. So Apple branded broken is better than Linksys.
Oh, now Trina, now you have grounds. See, broken Apple
No,
stuff
no.
is.
'Cause I have
ah.
to film things in videos. That's my excuse.
Mhm.
I see.
Trina's allowed to buy that pile of garbage now.
She
No,
can buy
I-
it for the hell she wants.
So I was talking to the person who I was going to do the car share with, and I'm like, so my friends have kind of talked me out of it.
Oh yeah, we're the
Car
So-
share. What?
Wait, what?
She
Yeah.
was gonna take a car
Maybe-
share to go get the stuff.
Yeah, because it's in Ottawa,
Yeah.
not in Toronto.
It's in
No.
Ottawa.
No.
Yeah, that's too expensive.
No.
Well, not a
Could
car
be-
share. Like they have their
Splitting
own car.
gas with a friend.
We just
Yeah.
be splitting gas with a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
Computer
You can
says
split
no.
gas with a friend by going to Taco Bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
much cheaper,
Trina,
Yo.
Dave.
I was going to join your stream, but I fell asleep and I took a nap.
Total Trina move.
And time I woke up, it was over. So sorry.
Well, that's all right. I'll cover for you on Sunday. So
So speaking of which, usually this time of or an hour ago, because the stream is only usually an hour, and we're 2 hours in. We see what's coming up this week for streaming. So is anybody streaming this weekend? Are there any?
We're streaming now.
Well, that doesn't count, Steve.
When
I know-
Dave is done on Sunday, me and Trina are going to stream the X Files for the remaining 4 hours to make
Okay,
up to
well-
8 hours.
Well, the
Oh,
truth
God.
is out there.
Well, you're not gonna find it with Trina.
okay. I didn't know we
Yeah,
were.
Trina will capitulate.
Yeah.
But,
Come on, Trina. What else do you got to do on Sunday? Exactly.
See,
What
she's
the-
got to go to church.
What they're not saying
Yeah.
is they're going to act it out.
Yes. It's a
Yeah, and
two-man-
I'm Agent
two-person-
Scully, and Trina is
David
Agent
Duchovny.
Mulder.
Oh,
No. She's David Duchovny.
She's dogged.
Oh my god!
Everybody's
And
favorite.
fine, I'll be Agent Reyes then.
She's the smoking man.
I'm all three of the lone gun man.
So I
See,
guess
that-
I'm
what happened
streaming
to them was
Sunday.
terrible.
I know Tech
Mhm.
Ambrosia is streaming at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, not 6 p.m. So just take note of that.
Yeah.
She will
When
be
is the-
streaming 3 hours early because she's redoing an Ender 3D printer.
Cool.
Yeah.
When is the Cocoa Fest or Cocoa whatever nation?
2
Oh,
o'clock.
they 2 o'clock
2 p.m.
Saturday or something.
2
I don't know.
o'clock for the next 10 years.
Like,
Sounds
And
right.
then I don't know if I know that Eric's Edge is taking the next 2 weeks off, so there's no
yes.
streams from
glamping.
him.
Mhm.
And I don't know if John of Big Bad Biologist fame is
He's
streaming.
not.
No, he's not
Believe
this Saturday. No.
The
Hold on.
secret
I
is
got
to
things.
never schedule anything.
Yeah.
And then get the notification that Steve
The
streamed,
secret
Just
is
do
to
what feels
never
right.
try.
and then it's actually 12
So
hours.
I might stream at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Why so early?
That's Canada, so it's okay.
Why so early? Because then I'm not because I have a whack of cards I need to test just to see if they work.
What is a
You
whack?
got a
And-
lot of RAM to test.
What unit
No,
of
no
measure
RAM.
is a
Canadians will use anything
Yeah.
other than standard measure.
Yeah.
Just I have a whack of video cards to test.
Because I want to.
My computer gets 90 rods to the hog's head, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah.
Eric, check your Discord.
I hate you.
But
I
yeah,
don't know how
so
to use this thing.
I'm going to be. I'll probably stream at 10 o'clock then, since Big Bad Biologist is not streaming.
Eric says, "Why not 9, Trina?"
I know.
Can you not do 9?
I replied back. I said because I want to sleep in a bit.
Because technically, you're doing it at 9, which is 10, or you're doing it at 10, which is 11:30 my time. So
Your cats aren't going to
realistically-
let you sleep in, Trina. They're going to get you up at 5:30.
Actually, they've been because it's been so stupidly hot. They have been like just vegging out on the floor where it's cooler,
Splooting.
so they don't care.
Trina, your
Yeah.
Commodore phone might be ringing up because it'd be my cats calling your cats to get you up.
Right.
No,
That's
so
funny.
I have a food dish right down there, and it has a silo on it, so it keeps dry food in it. So
A Cylon?
a silo.
Oh,
Battlestar Galactica? That's hot.
yes, Cylon.
End of line.
Trina, you're never going to invade Europe unless you get up early in the morning.
Yeah. You can't
Um,
blitzkrieg after breakfast. It's before breakfast.
Okay. You know those 4 Molar Max that I posted about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That were
on
like
the
$600. They're now $400 for the lot.
Can I complain?
So if you want a $100 Molar Mac, they got them.
Sloopy sent me a box full of bees.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'll pass on the Molar Max.
On a Molar Mac, if they were like $50 Canadian each,
Where
and I could fit them in my luggage.
Where are they,
It's
by
going to
the
be
way?
too expensive of a car share for you, Trina. You won't be able to get them.
No. But for the viewers in the U.S., where
They
are
can figure it out like everybody else did. So there you go.
Ancient
That's where-
They
Chinese.
are
That's where
in
it's
the
at.
continental United States.
That's where it's
All
at
right.
on the internet.
Yes, CDI says 10 a.m. Eastern is F1 qualifying. That is correct.
Yeah, I'll be watching that and Trina streaming at the
Yeah.
same time.
Frodo, how do I use this bench power supply without killing myself?
Eric's here.
Don't plug it in.
Yeah.
I'll be mowing the
Buggy.
grass.
Eric,
Eric, tell us about this camping glamping trip you're going on.
Yes.
Well, Michigan.
Is it Burning Man? Not in Michigan.
Well, it'll be 105. So yeah, Burning Man.
There's Michigan, right
And Eric's pretty fair skinned, so he'll be turned into a lobster at that point.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll be in a travel trailer, so it's glamping. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
does the travel trailer have a leak in the roof?
no.
Okay, then it's not. Then it's glamping.
I'm going to be taking my large format camera, my 6x6 camera,
Nice.
and lugging everything back to a waterfall to get some photographs.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Are you also taking a Mavica?
Yes, I
To
was
get some
going to
of the
say,
sweet
snap a couple of
floppy
photos
disk.
with the Mavica.
I'll take Mavicas too.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And I'll be using. I'm gonna record some video of doing the photography, so that I can actually publish a photography based
Nice.
stream.
Awesome.
Now, Eric, you're going to want to put that on a second channel because you don't want to muddy up your main channel. With
My
things
whole
that aren't-
channel is supposed to be both. I just haven't done any photography in 3 years.
I have it
making
on
a
good.
joke.
I have it on good authority from somebody who knows a lot about that kind of stuff on YouTube.
He's the best. He's the greatest.
That you don't do shorts for one.
Yeah.
And
No.
you don't ever want to split your channel by
Yeah,
doing
no.
something other, and your damn description better match what it is that you do.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I prefer
Make
killed
sure
over
that you
sword.
make a separate channel for everything you do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And also make sure that somehow 3,000 of your best friends watch the video before it even goes live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
That's
that
the
too.
that's the trick to the YouTube.
That is the trick.
And Eric,
Mm.
are you taking any computers with you?
Yes, of course I am.
Oh, he's got a cell phone, doesn't he?
What kind of computer are you taking with you?
Yeah. What kind of
Um,
computer are you taking with you?
Are you doing HyperCard by the waterfall? That's my question.
No, because I'm not going to lug the computers and the cameras.
Oh, you're missing a
Oh,
wonderful
come on.
opportunity.
You just need to buy a pack mule. Take it
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, my wife doesn't want the job.
This-
Ah,
you know, it's tough to find Sherpas on the peninsula.
Yes, it is.
No, it's-
Yeah.
So this is the large format camera that I'll
that's
be
pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
So it's heavy.
Question: how long does the mountain have to stay still for that camera to take a picture of it? Does it get blurry when there's tectonic movement?
No, actually, this is a fairly fast lens.
Okay.
It goes down to
What f-stop is it?
f2.2, so that's not
That's pretty cool.
heavy.
Not bad.
I think that's neat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that the wrong way.
It's f32.
f4.5, so it's not a really fast lens. But
And then second question: do you wear the bag over your head when you take the picture?
Now, what is the purpose of the bag over the head?
To not ugly up the picture.
No,
No,
it's
no,
here's the
And honestly,
Is it
yeah.
difficult to see without
Well,
it?
it's because you're focusing using ground glass.
Gotcha.
on the
Okay.
back.
That
And when
makes
you're
sense.
in daylight, you can't see anything.
It washes it out.
So
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've always seen it from on the movie where they just put it over the head and they look, but it doesn't
Yep.
show what they're actually looking at.
Now, Eric,
So
my
that's cool.
final
I'll be right back.
question is: are you bringing fireworks that you didn't use for 4th of July as flash?
no.
Okay.
What film size is that, Eric?
4x5.
87.
That's pretty cool.
It's really weird to watch Joe take apart Ron's boards.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Again,
good
we're-
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, what we need is Joe
I don't know
doing
why.
that with
I
the
would leave
audio
those
and
on.
Ron
Those are
doing
fun.
a voiceover, a real solid voiceover.
I think the extra parts are fun.
How
This is
it's
the other
Joe?
camera.
Land
Okay.
camera, yeah.
Is it a
What?
brownie? Joe.
No, it's a twin lens reflex. This is a Chinese knockoff of a Japanese knockoff of a German camera,
So it's a Kaiwi.
So,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. It's called Pearl River.
Pearl River.
It's actually not a bad camera.
Mhm.
It's not a good camera. But
It's
it's
not a great
It's,
camera.
it's
but
the
not a
limbo
bad-
of cameras. It's the purgatory of cameras.
And then the this is
3.6 Romkin.
Not,
the
not
film
good.
holders.
Not
There you
terrible.
go. So CDI says it's not the mountain moving, but some idiots doing a gender reveal party in the forest launching smoke bombs while the exposure's happening.
And then half of Michigan burns.
Yep.
I believe it was California. That's one of the fires started. There was fireworks from
Yeah, gender
Yeah.
reveal. Yeah.
party. Yeah.
Pretty common out that way.
Wasn't there something that happened like upstate New York or up that like same area but in Pennsylvania where somebody set off like 48 pounds of tannerite and it basically blew out the windows of a nearby town?
Oh, so you finally watched Tiger King?
And this is the massive
No,
tripod
Joe's
that
just not going to financially recover from different things.
Yeah.
This thing weighs like 25
Holy
pounds.
cow! Look at that tripod.
Wow.
That thing's got a lot of legs.
It's a
It's
heck
got
of a
more legs than an
tripod.
octopus.
Yeah.
Oh, this has got 3. It's just
Just big
very
extent.
beefy legs.
She
Oh,
got
I see. They're like
Has
like-
sea legs up my
Okay.
camera.
Okay.
Jesus, that thing's huge.
Making everyone yawn. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I have to lug all that back through the woods.
So exactly, what's a power book? It's not going to add any extra weight to it. Just take it with you.
Well, I'm taking the power. Whoa!
Well, not now.
Not now. I'm not. No, I'm taking the PowerBook G3 that I've got.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take the 180C.
Mm.
I did last time.
Yeah, I'd be
But I want
worried
to see. I
about
want to see
damage.
photos of you
Yeah.
doing
At least
hypercard
E3,
at the
you can get
waterfall.
them dime a dozen.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be programming at the waterfall.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be nice. I think it's going to be in the 70s most of the week.
Mhm.
Really? You prefer that decade?
Yeah.
What's that?
Look at Eric. He definitely does.
Yeah.
You prefer the 70s. You prefer that decade.
Oh yeah, much more.
Are you a Deadhead, Eric? Are you a big fan of the Grateful Dead?
You can't tell by the way
I like the Grateful Dead. I never followed them around.
No.
That would be a groupie.
In,
But that would be a deadhead.
Deadhead.
in other words, I'm familiar with their work.
I was more into Pink Floyd and Weather Report.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, baby, bite my wire.
Alan
How about
Parsons
yes,
Project,
Eric?
stuff
Alan
like
Parsons Project, yeah.
The
What about
Alan
yes, Eric?
Parsons Project.
Eye in the sky.
Yes. I'm a
looking
yes
at
fan
you,
as well.
I can reach
I
you.
am a huge Yes fan from my dad.
I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. That's why I
Ah.
called
I
my
also
first
like-
album Dark Side of the Mac.
My parents weren't cool. We listened to the Mamas and the Papas.
I don't
Mamas
know,
and
they're-
Papas is pretty
They're
cool.
kind of cool.
I also like Herb Albert, Tijuana
Yeah.
Brass.
Yeah, absolutely.
My father listened to that a lot.
La, 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 la.
It feels so
One of my
weird to
favorite
force this thing to
to
change.
stare at was the one with the gal covered in shaving cream.
Yeah,
and,
that's whipped
Oh, what
cream
was
and
it?
other delights or something.
yeah, something.
Yeah, I was really
Yeah.
surprised to see that in my wife's grandparents' house. They
think-
are extremely Mormon.
My stepmom, who was evangelical for years and is now not, had that one too. It was between like James Taylor and like Carole King. It was like that Herb Albert whipped cream and other delights album. But I don't think you could escape. Like nobody escaped the 70s without a copy of like Dark Side of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I do see that record a lot at thrift stores. It's in like almost every thrift store.
oh yeah.
So,
Oh,
Oliver
Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Hell yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oliver turns
Ooh,
1
what a
next
lucky
week.
man he was.
No way. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, and his favorite music to listen to is REO Speedwagon.
Oh God, I am
It's-
sorry for
it's
you.
the-
That is
it's
the worst
the-
music
it's
ever.
Does
the
he have
only
a
thing that
I'm sorry.
it's the only thing that calms him down. And like when he goes to sleep, like if he gets really fussy and he's like screaming or something, you just put on REO Speedwagon. Well, I'll tell you, after Liam with fucking Baby Shark 85 billion times,
Yeah.
that I had to have the one song to calm him down. This is much preferred.
I'm
I
going
want to know
sign him
how
up.
he heard it the first time. Like, how did this ever happen?
He's reincarnated. He
We were
heard-
Well,
doing,
you know, that's Frank's and his wife's favorite song, and the night of the conception. Oh wait, sorry.
She doesn't like REO
he signed
Speedwagon.
up for the
Columbia House.
Columbia House.
Yes, Columbia House.
And that was
Love
one of the free
Columbia
ones,
House.
You know,
No,
he
he
taped a penny
likes
to the card.
what he really likes too is like doo-wop music. He'll dance to doo-wop music. He thinks it's hilarious.
My niece loves Elton John, and we actually have video footage of her, which was very little, a couple of years ago, dancing to Elton John. We actually sent it to him, hoping that he would see it because it was hilarious. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah, it's weird how kids like certain things and will always love certain things when it comes to music.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess the surprising song that me and my sister, we were both pretty close. We're only like a year apart. The song that we got into when we were kids was Money for Nothing.
Oh, that song.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a great song, but it was very odd for us to be like 5 and 6 years old, and that's our favorite
was it the
song.
music video? Was it the music video?
No, we didn't have MTV at that point.
What was it? The
Just
fact
really
that, that nowadays that song is about 1 minute and 20 seconds shorter than it used to be.
Yeah.
I would have guessed the song would have been "You Can Call Me Al." That one's catchy.
Yeah.
The intro to that song, not "You Can Call Me Al," "Money for Nothing." It's like really neat, and then it's like a really good song.
Yeah.
It unfortunately has some slurs in it.
It does. You know, Sultans of Swing, I would say is a better song by them, just in general.
But not for a 6-year-old.
No.
Steve, are you still doing that?
Yeah.
I'm questioning my life choices.
He's still doing.
Bet you wish you cut that damn wire now, huh?
So I successfully set this to 9 volts, and then it has like 0.111 milliamp or whatever. So I think I have to jump the positive to the negative to change the amperage, right, or something.
Yeah, you do 12 volts to ground, and then
I tried that.
Javier apparently insulted me.
I always just set mine to the mode where it just pulls the amperage it needs, and it will increase it as needed.
I don't think mine has that mode.
Constant
It does.
voltage.
You have the same unit.
one.
So tell me what to do.
Just turn it on, and it'll be fine.
Well, because I set it to 9.
Yes.
Yes, that's fine. Even though it goes to 11.
it goes to 11.
Right. The Herb Alpert Tijuana Brass, the Whipped Cream and Other Delights album, was the #1 album in the U.S. in 1966.
I wonder why.
It outsold the Beatles.
Yeah.
It outsold Rubber Soul by the Beatles.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
And she was clothed underneath all that.
Yeah.
She still had the top of the bikini on. Just the straps down.
Because Eric was there, and he was actually in
Spoiler
charge
alert.
of cleaning the whipped cream.
I sent you a message, Gubbo.
Trina dropped.
He was the photographer.
Sounds right.
Steve, do you have the manual for that thing?
Nope.
For what?
Okay. Yes, it outputs DC. I'll be right back.
Hang on.
Because I
got
do
all
have the
books.
manual.
I got all the books. Which one are we looking for?
No, I think he means the book for the manual for the.
The bench power supply.
Yeah.
For the Kung Burr. Okay, and now can you make me big for a second because I want to show the cover of this manual because it's funny.
Oh shit! I forgot to fill out the registry warranty card for the tech step. Better do that.
User is manual.
Yeah.
Is that like
Yes.
when Tavares says, "I am the warranty"?
I love it. Well, it only pulls 1 watt.
Constant voltage, constant current characteristics. That's page 11. Be prepared for some really good English here. Connect the load. Rotate the terminal knob by turning it counter. Blah blah blah. You did that already.
Wait. This
Working
is going to take
Rotate my terminal knob.
Yeah.
Working characteristics of this series of power supplies are constant voltage, constant current, automatic conversion type, which means you don't have to do anything.
Okay, it works on the other one. Maybe my other one is just toast.
Uh-oh. So your other tech step and the power supply are crap?
Well, now this one just shows this when it powers on.
Ooh.
CDI, I also like prog rock. My eldest daughter is into it as well.
What is prog rock?
Yes, Gentle
Progressive
Giant,
rock?
King
Genesis.
Crimson.
Yes.
Yep.
Rush.
Yes.
Dream
Okay.
Theater.
Rush.
Okay.
Eric, how do you feel about Mike Oldfield?
Mike Oldfield?
Tubular Bells?
Mhm. I don't know that that's prog rock.
I'd have to.
No, I'm not saying prog rock, but it's prog rock adjacent.
What is this bullshit?
I have to admit, I'm
Why
not
is my
familiar.
chair broken?
Yeah, give it a
Not
shot.
off
It's
the
really
top of
good.
my head. Who was it again?
Mike Oldfield.
Mhm.
It's the first record released on Virgin Records.
Yeah, Tubular Bells is the
Yep.
that first album.
I've probably heard it, and I just don't recall.
You
The-
probably have because
there-
it's the opening
Yeah.
theme for The Exorcist.
The opening theme for The Exorcist uses some elements of it,
Oh, okay.
Frank.
Of course, there's a lot that happened in the 70s I don't remember.
Mhm. Oh, imagine that.
In some of the 80s.
Are you leaving, Frank?
Huh?
Are you leaving?
I'm going in the house. Yes, I'm hungry.
Okay, go in the house.
And then I got to
Uh,
make sure the bear doesn't get me.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna wrap this up? We're gonna
We
wrap
have
this up. This is
we
as good
have
a time as
black
any.
bear.
Yeah.
2.5
Bring
hours.
the gun.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for
Okay.
being here.
Yeah.
Have a
Thanks for having
fantastic
us.
night. Hit that like button.
Thank you.
Do all the usual things. And as always, keep your stick on the ice.
User is manual.
User
User
is
is
manual.
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, or any of the buttons. And that was the news.